troopers and grinders. Welcome to Hank's Think Tank, where this paranoid schizophrenic soldier war veteran in Korea is going to break down the craziest and cringiest in MMA news. And what a week of news we've got for you this time, troopers and grinders, all you little piranhas in the think tank. We've had a week of bad blood. We got beefs that have been started, beefs that have been settled. We've got mind games and manipulations, if you will. And so quite the dramatic stir of events, troopers and grinders. Very, very strange, as the Beatles said on their 1967 single, Penny Lane. And I'll be going through all of it this time, tonight, on Wednesdays. Troopers and grinders, fuck AEW Dynamite. This is the show to watch on Wednesday nights. Yes, sir. How's everybody doing here at the Think Tank? Let me know what you think before I get into my first little bit of MMA news. Brian Ortega. Yeah, that's right. We thought we'd heard the last of him, but he's back. It's a real shame, Kobe, but he's back, and we need him back. We need Brian Ortega. Just like the eagle when he breaks his beak. You know, I'm glad you asked about Brian Ortega, Kobe. The beak, it regrows itself, Kobe. It regenerates over time. Kobe, so I'm glad you asked. I'm like the eagle. I'm coming back, and I got a fan who wants to come on my back as well. But let's not get into that, Kobe Wiggle. Let's not discuss this right now, okay? We'll get into that story later. But I'm glad you asked. So yeah, Brian Ortega, he's gotten himself into some shit recently. It's getting a little bit frightening on social media, and he's got a few '1 stands who are starting to make his life very entertaining, at the very least. Miserable for some, for others, a moment of brevity. A moment of great, great, great comedy. So, you know, it all depends, man. It's like a great work of art at a museum. Everybody has their own interpretation. And in this time, it's a very graphic interpretation of a voice message that was sent old T City's way. So I'll let you guys know what you think. I'm reading a transcript of it. But again, much like the Diddy video, it is not for the faint of heart. So beware, troopers and grinders, beware for what I'm about to unfurl for you all. But how's everybody doing here in the Skate Tank Army? How's everybody's Wednesday nights going before I get into my first piece of MMA news? Yo, how's it going? Sean Moody. How's it going, Leprechaun? Always good to see you. How is the waiter job going, my brother? Have you found your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? And was there any meth inside of it? Because you gotta let me know. I know there's probably a good deal on that since it's pretty year old. But I'll take it off your hands for cheap, Sean Moody. But yeah, I think you're gonna like this week, Sean Moody. It's a bunch of very strange and bizarre, outright bizarre and eclectic events, just the way the Leprechaun likes it. Is it good to see everybody here? Let me tell you. And let me tell you another thing. I started Tier List Tuesday last night, and we were able to get 7 people at max just for its premiere. And as I keep going through Tier List Tuesday, I think that that audience is going to start developing. But it takes time, all right? It's like working on getting all the crusty barnacles off of a ship. It'll take you a while, but eventually, once you do it, man, it's going to be so worth it. But my 5 minutes have elapsed, and it's time for my first piece of MMA news for the troopers and grinders out there in the think tank. Here we go. His first story involves Brendan Schaub, who has had it with the constant shit-talking of one Mr. Nate Diaz, who called him a pussy for crying while talking about his friend and teammate Shane Carwin's struggles with CTE, which I covered as part of the weekly MMA news last week, called Schaub the P word for crying about his friend's CTE. Brendan posted a near hour-long video where he pretty much tore Diaz to shreds, in my opinion, saying that he likes to randomly F with people due to his repressed insecurities and fears that he's had since his childhood in Stockton, motherfucker, Stockton. And that if his brother Nick was dealing with the same CTE issues and he was publicly crying online, Schaub would have tried to comfort him, even though they hate each other, because he's a more decent person overall than that gang leader wannabe 39-year-old Nate Diaz is. Schaub also stated that if Nate Diaz actually did try to fight him, he'd get destroyed because of the height and weight difference, and yet he's constantly trying to pick a fight with Schaub online. And then he asked Nate what he would do if he actually landed on Schaub in a fight. Would he volume KO him? And that's a pretty ruthless line, and it's true. There's no chance in hell that Nate Diaz would knock out Brendan Schaub. He'd have to hit him a million times before he knocks him out. So Brendan Schaub, for once, speaking nothing but facts. Usually it's a bunch of lies, but it's facts this time, troopers and grinders. Brendan Schaub, is he honest? Usually he's not. In a rare circumstance, he is. So we're finally seeing the old Brendan Schaub of the 2011-2012 days, who was confident in himself and, willing to skirt the line a little bit and, not suck up to Joe Rogan. So we're finally seeing that Schaub back just a little bit, Kobe Wiggle. Oh, yes. Continuing on with my story. Cold ass line with the volume KO jab. And we're getting 2011 Schaub again here, folks. Be very afraid. He then challenged Nate to a potential grappling match, maybe in an agreement with Craig Jones for one of his invitationals, which is just printing money. I can just smell it right now. Smells like greens. Anyway, Diaz, of course, responded with some random-ass tweet. You'll be surprised, motherfucker. Guy got knocked out by Minotaur. That's what's up. Sylvia Bomb, I need to use the bathroom. I need to use the bathroom. Or it was something along those lines, guys. I'm just assuming that's what Nate said. So Schaub basically cooked Diaz regarding all his insecurities, his pettiness, his intimidating fight style, and the fact that Schaub would destroy him in a street fight. Craig Jones has shown his interest in a grappling match between them as well. So you might see that on the horizon. If Nate grows a pair of balls, that is. Timmy! How's it going, legendary SS Jackson? Oh, I know what this man's talking about. Hey, it's good old Timmy and the Tintwits. Timmy! Timmy! You're right, Timmy. We should make ourselves acquainted with these gentlemen by giving them some marshmallows and apple juice. You're right, Tim. Let's go gather them around the gymnasium and help them see reason. I mean, come on. Na, peace and love. Na, Crips and Bloods. Na, friendly thug. Boom, 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 boom. Timmy! Good to see you, legendary SS Jackson. But anyway, if Nate grows a pair of balls for a grappling match, that is, which I don't know if they're there. But, I can just picture the face-to-face interview between Schaub and Nate Diaz. Schaub telling his bullshit stories. Unfortunately, Joe Rogan won't be in the room, so they won't land. And Nate walking off to use the bathroom. What the hell is wrong with that guy's bladder, by the way? I mean, what the fuck? Guy can't just hold it in for an hour? What the fuck's wrong with you, Nate Diaz? The Brazilian moderator spouting random shit. Why are you gay? Aren't you a man? Are you gay? Are you sure you're a woman? It would be legendary. So there you go. The big grappling match. Ooh, intimidating. Between Brendan Schaub and Nate Diaz. Don't you just smell the violence in a grappling Craig Jones Invitational match? Yeah. Schaub has been waiting on some smaller dude to start shit with him for no reason for a while after the whole Mike Tyson thing. You got to explain the Mike Tyson thing to me, legendary SS Jackson. Did he actually try to pick a fight with that crusty-ass 50-year-old man? I know Kobe's looking forward to Tyson versus Paul, so you got to give me some updates regarding that. Let me tell you, Nick Diaz, he's had a problem with Schaub for a while. They've been going back and forth, but I think Diaz did cross a line by calling him a pussy for talking about Shane Carwin's real-life issues. And he really did cook Diaz when he said, dude, if your brother Nick was dealing with health issues, I would console you. I wouldn't be a piece of shit like you're being right now. So it just goes to show that Diaz is a fucking idiot, but we always knew that. You shut your damn mouth and do what you you do what you you do what you're told. And if you got a problem, you can pass the blood to the fella on your left. Oh, oh! Now, son, we don't want our pride and joy being a felon. And but mom, I'm wearing this cross because I believe in God. Now, aren't you telling me that God punished you by having me? That's right. God taught me and my wife a lesson when we had you, Jim. What's going on, Ortega? I will get to that very soon, Michael Jordan. But you won't want to miss this. It is quite it's quite the phone call that Brian Ortega had the other day. Cripple fight. I repeat, cripple fight. Aisle 9. Clean up on aisle 9. There is a cripple fight currently taking place. Woo! Fuck you, Tim. Why don't you taste this? Why don't you taste this crunch? Oh, terror! Mike Tyson punked the hell out of Schaub when Schaub and his streamer friend watched some event with Daniel Cormier. Schaub was being a general douche, pushing buttons for no reason. Well, Nate Diaz knows the feeling. Looks like they're both pretty good at pushing each other's buttons. Listen, I never liked Brendan Schaub before all this shit, but I don't know. Seems like Brendan Schaub's sort of starting to clean up his act as of late. So, hey, I'll give him a second chance, but punk the hell out of him. Nice. Well, Mike Tyson always has his words of wisdom. And when you're in hell and the devil trying to give you a way out, you can't take it. When you take it, it goes further. You got to try to be a man of the Lord. You got to be one of God's people, you understand? Sometimes it's hard to make decisions. It's hard. Jimmy and steroids is comedy gold. Whatever. I do what I want. Bitch. Get off of me. You won't get off of me. Oh, no. Mike got up and stood in front of Schaub and just stared at him while he ate some fruit. Schaub didn't dare look in his direction. Nice. Well, everybody crumbles when they stare into the cold, dead eyes of Mike Tyson. Mr. Sandman. Or what? Wasn't he Mr. Dream at some point as well? Oh, no, Kid Dynamite. Yeah. He's got dynamite in his eyes, dude. You look at me in the eyes. I'll eat your children. I'll eat your family. I got such power and such presence. And when you look into my eyes, boy, you're gonna see the pupils of a man who's lost his soul. Meanwhile, Brendan Schaub's like, yeah. Good one, bro. You ever tell you about the time that I benched 50 pounds with Hulk Hogan in Ventura County? Oh, that happened. Yeah, that happened, Joe. Dude, we ran over a deer, Joe. It was crazy. Oh, you're killing me, Schaub. Fucking Joe Rogan. Can't wait to see the downfall of that guy. I hope he says something real stupid and they just shut down the podcast on Spotify. I'm sick of Joe Rogan's fucking bullshit. He hasn't earned his cent. And that's a hot take, but I don't care. I just feel like Joe Rogan's... He's lost his edge since 2020. Or if anything, the edge has gotten out of hand. The Mike and Schaub vid is on YouTube. Mike leaves briefly at some point, and Daniel Cormier warns Schaub that he doesn't think that Mike likes that kind of shit. He said he'd single leg Mike. Yeah, great. What a fucking punk. But that's in the past. That is in the past, legendary SS Jackson. He's a new man. He's truly a new man. So that's when Mike got in his face eating peaches and shit. Nice. I'm just visualizing in my head, just tiny little Mike and Schaub's little fucking pussy. But he's not a pussy no more because he's challenging Nate Diaz to an extremely violent grappling match. Viewer beware. Scary, scary stuff. Anyway, we're at the time for me to get to my next bit of MMA news. Conor McGregor, see you at the top. You do what you're told. Conor McGregor, free red panty night, has finally caught on to Ilya Topuria trying his hardest to copy every single thing that McGregor has done at a pre-fight press conference for his UFC 298 media interview. posting an Instagram reel of Ilya standing up and telling Volk to do something about it, the same way he did Khabib, and even taking the championship belt when his opponent's back was turned. He got caught red-handed. You jealous fucking fan, Ilya Topuria. Keep walking around with a fake BMF belt and doing impressions in the mirror. You won't be needing to do any of that anymore once Max emasculates you in the cage on live television. Makes you wish that you never said shit in the first place. So this is for you, Topuria. Enjoy a spinning back kick to the mush for your troubles, you hand sanitizer slapping Spanish midget Keemstar. That's all from me, by the way. Those are my words. I typed those out. But yeah, Conor McGregor posted on Instagram that basically Ilya was copying all his shit during his press conference with Volkanovski. So the GOAT knows what you're doing, you little fucking Spanish imp. So be careful what you wish for, dude, because eventually everyone's gonna catch on to with the Travis Bateman false persona that you're putting on. I honestly think that Schaub and Diaz will box with how the current climate is. Yeah, I mean, it's what Diaz is used to at this point, so makes sense to me. Maybe Diaz would push out of that. Also, Craig Jones is again, he's smelling dollar signs, so he might just try to make that match grappling. Can't really say Mike was small, you just compact. Yeah, but he's small in height. I mean, that's just a fact. If you compare Jake Paul to him, he's tiny. He's definitely wide and not tall, but at the same time, like he's gonna have a lot of people are gonna have a height advantage over him. That's just a fact of life. Connor is sad because a copycat is there, but is losing Saturday. I hope so. I think a lot of us do hope so because most of us are just smelling a whiff of Topuria's bullshit. He's used to it since he's former bullfighter, so he's probably been covered in bullshit before. But yeah, we're not buying it, and we're not buying him as some stoic Chad at featherweight. We know the facade that he's putting on. 5'11", 225 pounds. Yeah, I mean that, if for just a regular height, compared to other average human beings, it's pretty good. But unfortunately, when you're talking about boxing and heavyweight, like he's a pretty small heavyweight, right? Leprechaun. I mean, he'd be small compared to Schaub, and even in his like at the height of his powers, like he's never been the tallest individual. But he's got that power in his fist, brother. And I hope for all of us that Mike Tyson just breaks the jaw of Jake Paul and just sends it fucking flying across the ring. That would be a really nice thing to see. Jake Paul's a fucking idiot, just like his brother. And he's standing by his brother when he's committing all these crypto scams against little kids. And if you're a friend or an accomplice of Logan Paul when he's pulling all that fucking trickery and trying to scam kids out of their money, like I find you just as personally responsible. So yeah, fuck Jake Paul. I hope he loses and Logan cries about it. Anyway, let's get to my next big piece of MMA news, shall we, folks? Getting them WWE kids. Yeah, Brendan Schaub is gonna challenge Nate Diaz to a wrestling match, and then Mike Tyson is also gonna be there as a special guest referee. And then Jake Paul's gonna try something crazy, and then Mike Tyson, bam, is gonna crack him on the chin and put him out cold. It'll be a random ass. Hey, we didn't call that spot. Doesn't matter. You can get like Stone Cold said. BTA don't trust nobody. And then he'll just leave. And in wrestling, Mike Tyson would definitely kick Jake Paul's ass. Gotta agree with you there, Leprechaun. Anyway, next bit of news I got. Okay, this is the big one, guys. This is the story that the thumbnail is based on, so listen up. Brian Ortega recently received maybe one of the funniest audio messages from a diehard fan, or should I say stan, the other day. The recording goes as follows. Look, I gave you a fucking chance. I saw that you had posted saying you were going through some shit in surgery or whatever the fuck. Time's up now, bitch. tell me you fucking love me, or I'm gonna fly out to wherever the fuck you is right now, T-City, and I'm gonna deal your little ass, boy. You ain't never been in the cage with a boop like me before. I'm gonna pull down those briefs and so there you go. That's a voice message that Brian Ortega T-City received the other day. Ilya sleeps Max. Yeah. It's going to be sad. That's definitely one of the potential outcomes. I personally am going to pick Max Holloway by decision just because I see him hitting that spinning back kick he did on Gaethje against Ilya with even more success and maybe staggering him a little bit. Like, if Ilya wins, I feel like Max is going to pull something out of his bag of tricks that's going to allow him to let it go to a decision. I think that Max has a granite chin, so I don't know, man. I just don't see him being the one to get to sleep Max, but I do think that there's a good chance that Ilya wins. Not disqualifying that. He might. If he does, I'm going to be devastated, Moises. Yeah, I think a lot of us are going to be devastated. I like your profile picture, by the way, Mark. That's like Squidward getting slapped around by, what, Bubble Bass or something? What is that? It looks like SpongeBob. It looks like he took a fucking boat or a frying pan to the face. That is vintage SpongeBob. But yeah, that'll be a very, very sad outcome. Max said that he's not gonna do the little stand and trade in the center at the start of the fight, so it's not gonna end that early, I think. But I definitely see the possibility of Topuria cracking Max. It's just whether or not Max responds well. Brendan is huge compared to Nate, though. Yes, he is. But Nate is pretending like he's huge compared to Brendan. And he's talking all sorts of shit. So I don't give a damn if there's a weight and height difference. If someone talks shit, you flatten them out. Doesn't matter what weight or height you are. So if I had a big motherfucker who was talking shit about my family, I'd get up in his fucking face, slap him. Or if I was big and a tiny little guy was going after my family, I'd fucking punt kick him. So I don't give a damn. Words matter. I'm a trooper and a grinder. That is right, Kobe Wiggle, and don't you forget it, Skate Tank Army. But it's good to see you, Moises, and it's good to see you, Mark. I think you guys are first time attendees of the channel, and so very, very happy to see you guys. Welcome to the Skate Tank crew. Like and subscribe. We've also got donate shit. If you don't need to, that's completely fine. But yeah, like and subscribe, guys. It's good to have you here. Do you want me to run down some of the MMA news I've been talking about? Here, I'll do it really quick. In case you guys missed it. So Brendan Schaub, like Mark said, he basically called for a grappling match with Nate Diaz, who called him a pussy for mentioning Shane Carwin's struggles with CTE, his former training partner, and basically went into Nate's character and just completely embarrassed him as a human being. And then Nate responded with his usual 12-year-old Twitter, hey, I may do this, I may do that. So there's a little internet drama there, which is always good for the sport. And I don't care what anybody says. Drama is drama, and drama sells. So we need more of that in this sport. That's why, honestly, Ilya Topuria is a good thing for the sport. Even though we hate him, he does help draw eyes to him. But he does stupid shit. So it works. Just ask Conor McGregor. But the thing about McGregor is that he was likable. And he had, a certain charisma to him as he was doing things that sort of allowed us, sort of justified his behavior in a way, or at least like sugar-coated his behavior so that we found it entertaining and not despicable. But Ilya is just all anger, no fun. So, or all rehearsed lines I did in the shower. So we see right through it compared to Conor. McGregor is who he is, for better or for worse. And then I talked about how Conor McGregor caught Ilya Topuria basically doing every single thing that he used to do during his press conferences. And again, he's just a fake. He does everything. He doesn't have a single original thought, or if he does, it's pre-rehearsed. He's doing shit with his BMF belt to make people mad. He just doesn't seem real. And then my third story was that Brian Ortega has some random ass dude send him a few voice messages where he basically likened himself to the Booty Warrior. It is the second part of my story. It has the same energy, this voice message, as the Booty Warrior from the Boondocks. I came looking for man's butt. T-City, now we can do this the easy way or the hard way. I likes you and I wants you. Don't make me ruin that butt, Brian Ortega. I'm having a peanut butter and asshole sandwich. Honestly, if Brian Ortega is getting voice messages like this all the time, it explains a lot of what he says during media day interviews. He's surrounded by lunatics, and they're running the asylum and running Brian Ortega's mouth. He needs to remove himself from these idiots and be the true intellectual that Brian Ortega T-City has always likened himself to be. Ortega needs to be like the eagle and unfurl his wings and finally fly like an eagle into the future. He needs to spread his wings and fly away. He believes he can fly. He believes he can regenerate a beak, and he believes that he can touch the sky. He thinks about it every night and day, guys. Spread his wings and fly away. This is what Brian Ortega needs to do. Too much drama in his life, troopers and grinders. Anyway, it is what it is, guys. So what do you think of this little voice message that Brian Ortega got the other day? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? God, what's that quote from the Joker in the Batman movie? Give me money. Who do you trust? Who do you trust? That's the name of the game. When you're a big time celebrity, you gotta stay away from the hoes, man. Be careful of the hoes. They want you, man. They want your money. You gotta let those hoes be. Gotta let them be bees. You know what I'm saying? Bzz. Anyway, craziness. I know it's not necessarily the most major of news stories, troopers and grinders, but I did have to mention it because I just find it very funny, personally. Like, I was just walking around, saw it on the phone, and then it had me fucking doubling over with laughter. And usually I don't even think about that when I'm thinking about MMA or my job. But yeah, it killed me. Or when I think of Brian Ortega. This is an MMA stream, Moises Mercer. So yeah, I know you probably do this in a bunch of people's live streams, but unless that eagle is meant to represent Brian Ortega and his regrown beak, don't appreciate the propaganda, man. So I'll allow you to do it maybe one or two more times every once in a while, dude. But if you're only using this to promote propaganda, I gotta say that I'm not a fan. We don't support propaganda in our comment sections. So sorry, Moises Mercer. I know it's an election and things are heating up and everybody's getting all tense and talking about this or that, but I want to talk about sports and I don't want to polarize myself from the other people in this chat. So I suggest you don't either. Otherwise, you'll just make an enemy out of everybody. And if you want to actually support your campaign, go out and canvass the vote. Go out and donate. Go out and volunteer. Don't do some like petty shit, like do some random ass endorsement of the president, like you're fucking Steve Garcia in a post-fight interview, just randomly throwing out his name. Like, sorry, that's a little autistic and retarded. So, sorry to say, Moises. But anyway, we get to my next big piece of MMA news. Here we go. Seems like the Cung Le, or am I saying that right? Zuffa antitrust lawsuit is finally reaching its closing stages. And I've been talking about this news story for a while. I think it's been like a month since the first time I talked about it. Yo, Capitano Foucault. Hey, what is going on, Capitano Foucault? Hey, man, if you ever need to get into the live stream to chat a little bit with me, let me know. I'm going to always send you the link, Capitano Foucault. So, yeah, I want to talk about anything, I got a link just for you. And I hope you're doing well. Capitan Rafuco, the most Italian Argentinian man I have ever seen in my life. But anyway, it seems like the Cung Le-Zuffa antitrust lawsuit is finally reaching its closing stages, troopers and grinders. Judge Boulware has granted preliminary approval of the UFC's $375 million settlement offer after a bunch of fighters sent letters to the judge telling him how life-changing the money enclosed in the new offer would be, including, of course, Shane Carwin. And we know what his letter was about. But don't let the initial number fool you. The fighters are actually receiving only $260 million after legal fees, but still is a pretty big deal for them to receive that much money, evenly distributed from the UFC for their troubles, given that they're not fighting. And a lot of their CTE is harming their ability to just do everyday tasks. So this money is definitely going to help them in the long run. 35 of the fighters will get $1 million. So that's close. And then close to 100 fighters will get $500,000. More than 200 fighters will receive $250,000. Over 500, half a thousand fighters will get $100,000. And nearly 800 will get a Dana White Fight Night bonus of $50,000. 50,000 baht from Satrish. What an incredible amount of money, troopers and grinders, which really goes to show how cheap the UFC has been still with its settlement offer. Creepy Crawley Adams family. That's the first half of my story. I'll get to the second half soon. What do you guys think of that? Judge Boulware finally approved the settlement offer, so we're starting to come to an end with this legal case. Do you guys even know that the antitrust thing was happening in the first place? What do you think? Because I've been covering this on the series for quite a while now, so it's good to see that it's had some developments and is nearly coming to an end. And I hope that Shane Carwin gets a lot of money. I really do, because that man's suffering right now. So it's good that he has something for his daily expenses. It just goes to show that it really is a company where you can fight for them forever and still get nothing on your way out. Fighting is a very cruel business and a cruel sport, along with the cruel sport, troopers and grinders. And it's just a real shame that there are some guys who are very talented and have proven themselves, but then got, dragged through the dirt. So it's good to see that a bunch of those guys from like 2011 to 2017 are finally getting some money coming their way from the UFC. A lot of these guys left the company broke. So it's for the best that they get an adequate amount of money for being very memorable fighters in the cage. I honestly think that you should get money from the UFC based on how memorable you are. Like whether your performances are unique or not, or like make you a star, like just like any other piece of media, Anyway, my second half to this news story. The fighters will gradually be paid over the calendar year, but the fighters still have to give their approval and disapproval of the offer before the courts go forward with the settlement. Conor McGregor responded to the news saying that the rich are just getting richer. And I have no idea if he's talking about the fighters or the company. But if it is the fighters, this guy's such a suck up to the UFC. It's unbelievable. If only he could fight for them and actually make the company some money these days. But unfortunately, whenever he gets an injury to his toe, he just has to back out of fights with Michael fucking Chandler. Oh, it's just too risky. You know what I mean? And he'd rather go to a biker gang rally or a party and sleep with some midgets than promote a fight and go to it. He'd rather fire Mike Perry and BKFC. Dumb fucking cokey dude. Any thoughts on my little comments there, or should I finish this story? Let me know, fellas. Oh, goddamn. Yeah, Conor McGregor is just, you never know what he's going to say during his little Twitter sessions. Could be at a show, he could not be. Could be in some random ass part of the world, hanging out with the weirdest of people like it's a fucking circus. Yeah, Conor McGregor is not the Conor McGregor we knew in 2011 to 2013. The guy's cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs and cuckoo for Coke as well. So it is a problem. It is, in fact, a problem. But I'll finish up my story. Fighters for the UFC from 2017 onwards will also be looking for their settlement offer in the future. So not just guys from 2011 to 2017, Modern day UFC fighters are also looking for a settlement offer. But who knows if that one even gains any legal ground. I have a feeling that the UFC will find an avenue for worming their way out of paying the money the second time around. It's what they're good at, not booking fights or creating hype or, drawing money. Those days are long gone. They're good at avoiding litigation. So good for the UFC. You'll love to see it. At least the fighters can maintain some form of victory in this whole legal circus. Still, it's not over yet. It's not ogre until it's ogre. There still needs to be an approval process from those who are filing the lawsuit themselves, and then that has to go to the judge, and he has to approve it, jury, and then need to come to their conclusions. But sort of strange. I didn't even know that there was a whole class of fighters in the modern day who are going to be looking for a settlement offer as well. So honestly, $400 million from the UFC is nothing to them. They're $1 billion company. You are gay. I am gay. Why am I gay? Mohammed. You are gay. You like the Oklahoma City Thunder. You are gay. They will never win finals. They will never win an NBA trophy. They are gay and you are gay, Mohammed. Praise Allah. May he see to your destruction. Hey, Hank. How's it going? Andrew B. Based one. Chadrew. King Chadrew. Andrew B. What is going on, my brother? It's always lovely to see Andrew B. in the chat. I was talking about some MMA news, but you got any personal news yourself you'd like to share with everybody here, Andrew B? I know your life is very productive, so go ahead, man. Let me know. Always love seeing Andrew here. He's such a bright spot in this world of darkness and despair. By the way, I should run down some of the stories that I had. How do you feel about the Jews? It's a very interesting feeling given that I'm an ethnic Jew. So, the Israelites and the IDF don't like them. Don't like the Zionists because slaughtering people in Gaza and basically committing what Adolf did in the 1940s. So don't like the Zionists in Israel, but in terms of just Jews in this country, like there's been good ones. I know a lot of good Jews. I like the faith. I like that it's not as stringent as Christianity is. It seems more chill, depending on what region in the world you're in. And Jews have helped a lot of industries, made them largely successful. So I don't believe the story that they're secretly taking over the entire economy and they're to blame for everything. I think that's childish. I think that people of a lot of different faiths are running this economy into the ground, and that the main religion that we should all be against is elitism. So I would have a problem with that, not one specific faith. Glory is still continuing with the fights, and that is good, Andrew B. You do love to see it. Glory is a fun kickboxing organization. Well, it's not so much anymore, actually. It's had its glory days, let's just say. Wink. And let's just say that those days are numbered because they're losing talent. They're having this sort of strange cards, lots of injuries. I don't know. Glory, it's not as glorious as it once was. It's missing Alex Pereira, man. I gotta tell you. My life is good, busy at work, and played floor hockey, and now watching TV. Nice. Well, life is meant to be busy, Andrew B. It's meant to be. It's meant to have a purpose, and it's meant to have ebbs and flows. So, if you're busy right now, it means that's a good thing. So, hope you're enjoying work at the very least, or that it's productive. That's all we can hope for, right? Let me break down the news stories, by the way, Andrew B., in case you're confused. So Brendan Schaub basically, from the accident earlier today. Accident? What accident, Andrew B.? You got to tell me. What accidents were provoked and what injuries were sustained from said accidents, Andrew B.? Tell me. But anyway, Brendan Schaub is basically having it out with Nate Diaz. Basically called him out for all his bullshit. Good shit for Brendan Schaub for once. He's not a liar this time. They're going to probably have a grappling match in Craig Jones Invitational, but they might be boxing as well. Conor McGregor has finally realized that that Ilya Topuria is basically stealing all his shit during his press conference with Alexander Volkanovski and laughed about it on Instagram. Brian Ortega received a message from an online stan who basically said he was coming for his ass, Aljamain Sterling style. And that was pretty funny. And then the antitrust lawsuit has finally seems to be coming to a close. The $375 million settlement offer, and the fighters have accepted. Judge Boulware has accepted it. So it looks like the UFC has dodged a bullet. Isha has posted. Michael got a cent. There was a guy, and I think it was, yeah. That's right. Yeah, there's some news from Isha. That's right. Glory Kickboxer was injured in shooting over a horse. Ends Michael. Yeah. Michael Dute's career. That's a crazy ass story. But what Isha covers in the news is probably the craziest shit in MMA news. Whereas what I talk about is shit that's all over the news cycle. So if you want niche news, you got to definitely attend Isha's streams, the City Life Project. He always has some strange shit, and it's usually very memorable at the least. But yeah, ended a career over a horse, shot somebody, crazy. Anyway. Let's move on to my next bit of MMA news, shall we, troopers and grinders? Dana White appears to be getting into the heads of UFC's more unpopular contenders as of late, convincing Magomed Ankalaev that he has to have a fun fight with Alexander Rakic in order to get a title shot against Pereira, and swaying Arman Tsarukyan to pick John Jones as the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. This evil mastermind. I heard that Rigo did something about me too. About me do? What me do? What me worry? Do what me do? Do what me do? Sock me do? Sock it to me? Did something about me to do. Well, he did something about that video about him from Guru the Musical. He's suing him. So, which shows that he can't take the heat. So he should get out of the kitchen. Probably get out of YouTube as well. He is suing Musical over that video, and hope that Musical's ready. I tried to warn him that Rigo would. There was no low that Rigo wouldn't stoop to counter a video that was defaming his name. So poor old Musical is just gonna have to tough it out. But Rigo's a moron, and if you just watch the video, you know most of the stuff that Musical is talking about. He's got a good mind of. He's onto him. So Musical clipped it. Ronan's wife is pregnant. Okay. Think he's going to be even more separated from YouTube because of this? Is he going to end his YouTube career because of this? Or what's going to happen, Andrew B? Did he really go after you again? I swear to God, all the dumb stuff from Rigo starts with people picking on you, Andrew B. And it always gets out of hand, and you've done nothing. So I really got to realize that you'd never harm a fucking fly. Stop bullying the kid. So Musical clipped it. Ronan's wife is pregnant. Jesus. Who would fucking sleep with that creep? Honestly. Who would sleep with that fucking Aiden Ross wannabe? That's wild. Anyway, let's continue on with the news. And make sure to give me some comments during my telling of the stories, guys. So I got some other stuff to focus on. It seemed so. Anyway, Dana White recently convinced Magomed Ankalaev that he has to have a fun fight with Rakic in order to get a title shot against Pereira, and he swayed Arman Tsarukyan to pick John Jones as the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. This evil mastermind. He's corrupting the youth, for Christ's sake. At a Media Day interview, Ankalaev said that he and Dana White had a conversation where the boss basically said that he needs to have a good fight and show himself well against Rakic. No, did he? Preferably on the feet, in order to get the next title shot. I can see Dana's game plan a mile away with this one. Pushing Ankalaev to make it a stand-up war with Rakic so that he can get leg kicked to death and slept, so Alexander Rakic gets the title shot instead. Brilliant! And not the inbred Dagestani. Truly a work of genius. And absolutely corrupt and bad for the sport in the long run. It's terrible what Dana always does when he pressures these fighters into having certain fights and then it gets slept. Like, just makes the sport out to be a joke when you're literally pushing for certain results in fights instead of just putting the matches together. You know, it really takes puppeteering work from Dana and Hunter to have certain results of fights that they like. Please find out of me. I'll try to do some investigative journalism. Maybe I'll do it at the end of my news cycle. Wow, that's insane. Yeah, and it keeps on going. So yeah, he wants Ankalaev to lose against Rakic, so he's pushing him to keep it on the feet. MMA fans on Twitter have caught on to his little scheme, saying that the UFC was now dictating bad game plans to fighters they don't like and holding title shots hostage until they see fun performances, which they compared to outright rigging the sport in their preferred fighters' favor. Peter Piper picked a pickled peppers. How many peppers did Peter Piper pick? And I mean, are they wrong? At the same time, the UFC has been doing the same thing in terms of manipulating the fighters and getting matchups they want since the early 2010s. Making matchups with very little booking logic of boring champions against hyped up challengers, or keeping boring contenders away from title shots. So this is not news, guys. It's just grossly apparent with this Pereira and Ankalaev situation. Personally, I would love for Ankalaev to get slept and for injustice to prevail in the Ankalaev and Rakic fight. But I certainly wouldn't be booking Ankalaev versus Rakic if I was running the UFC. I would have given him a title shot by now. Just saying. As much as it pains me to do so, he has earned the shot already. To summarize, the rigging of the rankings and the title fights is nothing new, but it has been especially stinky from the UFC in this half of the year of our Lord of our Savior 2024. And hopefully that changes a little bit come 2025. Spoiler alert, it won't. So there you go. Dana's trying to stack the deck in his favor a little bit with some of these fights and pressure certain fighters into fighting a certain way, which either makes them fun fighters or boring fighters that get slept. Either way, it benefits the company. So, yeah. Old Dana and Hunter. You saw that footage of that Roku documentary where Hunter basically sits Aljamain Sterling down and tells him, oh, well, you could be a company guy. You could take the fight with Sean. I don't care if you're injured. Just have the fight with Sean, okay? I'm sure your injury isn't that bad. I'm sure you're faking. So just take the fight for the date that we ask you. It really is run like a mob, where it's like boss makes the rules, the boss sets the conditions, and then you basically follow those conditions, or else they whack you. So, I mean, Tyron Woodley was a bit of a prima donna in his negotiations with the UFC, but Aljamain Sterling is a company guy, and they still treat him like dirt. So it's hard to sympathize with the UFC and some of their bullying tactics for getting their champions to do what they want. Dana is a masterpiece. He definitely looks like a Pablo Picasso masterpiece with that bald head and those round ass ears and that triangle-like nose. Isn't he awesome? He's got a very round head that looks like it was, they had one of those pencils that you spin around to make a perfect circle. So, yeah, he definitely looks like a surrealist work of art. Maybe fashioned in someone's nightmares. James Dillon. John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. I disqualify him from being the greatest fighter of all time because he's been on roids at least 4 times. So he needed to cheat to have the career that he had, whereas DJ has more title defenses than John Jones does. and went to another organization. And okay, lol, I'm joking. Okay, thank God. There we go. Hey, that's the main argument to make about Jon Jones. That's a fact. They want to talk about facts regarding Jon Jones and like his status. That is a fact right there. So I'm joking. Yeah, he's extra old. Yeah, that makes him extra goated, totally. And Jon Jones would never cry during his post-fight retirement speech about his wife, my wife. So that's not very goated at all. If anything, he would attack his wife for no reason at all, or because she shoved the butt plug in a bit too hard, and just had to let it go on her, and show her some power slap, But Jon Jones is the best at being a scumbag for sure. He's the goat of that. Dana Wise, yes, wise beyond his years. That's why he knows that Jon Jones is the greatest fighter ever. He's the greatest pound for pound fighter ever. And he's enough of a wise guy to associate himself with two gangsters from the 90s as well. He's a wise guy for sure. Runs his own little Ponzi schemes like Power Slap and wants to sell it off to the next sucker for a higher price. He knows the game. Dana Pink loves sexual chocolate. Yes. And Jon Jones would be Mark Henry if he was a million times skinnier and lived in Africa and was dying of malnutrition. That's Jon Jones. He loves his sexual chocolate. Jon Jones. I love dark chocolate. That's actually good for your blood. It's good for your heart rate as well. Dark chocolate. Jon Jones. I'd eat dark chocolate. You put me and Jon Jones in a room with some fondue. I'm telling you, we never get out of there. We never leave that room. There'd be cheese and chocolate and strawberries all over the walls. And a bunch of white stuff too, but don't worry about that. That's white chocolate. I love myself some sexual chocolate. I just stopped by for a bit now and I'm out. Take care, bud. Hot chocolate. Yeah. Hey, Jon Jones brings that hot chocolate, especially when he tests positive. He pisses hot chocolate. That's for sure. He pisses hot chocolate for sure. Oh, brother. How you doing, James Dillon? I think I've chatted with you before in Skate Tank MMA chat, but how's life treating you, buddy? Mark Henry, sexual chocolate, rubber. Oh, sexual chocolate girl. Hey, how you doing, Betty? What's his name? Well, how you doing, fabulous moolah? My name's Mark Henry. Oh, I always wanted a big, strong man. I can be a man. I can be a chocolate baby. Oh, I want to bite out of that chocolate. Oh my God! Push, ma'am! Push, ma'am! Oh, it's a hand! It's a hand, for God's sake! Oh, get it away from me. I'll take a bite out of that hand. It's made of chocolate. Sexual chocolate. I'm gonna eat my fetish. Hi, Mom. I'm all grown up. It's me, Mr. Hand. Oh, darling. That was Jon Jones's first nickname. Did Colby Covington name him that? Was when he was in his college roommate days with good old Colby. Did they call each other sexual chocolate during certain points? I mean, Colby looks way too happy in those selfie photos, let's be honest. So Jon Jones had to be taking those roids and giving him the chocolate every day. And it explains a lot of Colby's behavior, that he's gay for the lightweights and is intimidated by a cuck. My life is great. Anyways, wow. Fucking boasts from Andrew B. Got smooth with it. I'm chilling, sipping whiskey, brother. Love to hear it, James Dillon. I hope it's good whiskey. Trying to collab with Rafuko. Any advice on the language barrier? I would suggest learning Italian. I'd go on Duolingo, go on the app, and just type in Italian, and then do a few lessons for about a week or two, and I'm telling you, it would be smooth sailing. You guys can have hours-long conversations. Play some Italian Call of Duty. That should help you with things, and maybe a little bit of Spanish for Argentinian sakes. But I guess speak English. Maybe speak English to him, and then try to have the Google Translate on in the meantime to like record him as he's talking. So you can get a good, nice, smooth translation of what he's saying. That would be my advice for you. And whatever he says about MMA and any takes that he has, just nod your head in agreement, and should work out. Just got to suck up to Rafuko. Man had 1,000 subscribers before we did. Guy is a living legend. I hope that was a good enough answer for you. Anyway, we got 11 people here. I like it. And just for all you 11 people who showed up, let me get to another piece of MMA. Oh, shit. Hank got knocked the fuck out. How's it going, AJ? What it do, bedtime crew? Hey, man, listen, today we got AJ in the HANKTANKY. Hanky Tanky, you're the one. You make bath time so much fun. Hanky Tanky, I'm awfully fond of you. Robo ho Hanky Tanky, you're so nice. You make bath time so much nice. Hanky Tanky, I'm awfully fond of you. How you doing, AJ? Want me to run down some of the MMA news before I get to my next big headline for y'all? So basically, Brendan Schaub has gotten into a big rivalry with Nate. Not Nate the Train. God damn it. Nate Diaz, tiny ass fucking lightweight who's starting shit with him. And basically called out Nate for a bunch of his insecurities and sensitive nature and all his past traumas from living in Compton. And basically said that Nate Diaz was a pussy for basically calling him a pussy when he was talking about Shane Carwin's troubles with CTE, and said that if Nick was dealing with the same thing, he'd console him because he's actually a good person and not an utter scoundrel and piece of shit. And then said if those two were to fight, he'd destroy Nate, and said, oh, what are you going to do? Volume KO me, Nate? Which was pretty good. And then he basically challenged Nate Diaz to a grappling contest and is working with Craig Jones to get it done for their invitational, which would definitely draw eyeballs. And then Nate Diaz responded in, his autistic way that he does things. So, but Craig Jones Invitational would be very fun for the promotion of that thing. Then Conor McGregor has finally caught on to Puria, basically copping all his shit during his pre-fight press conferences, including standing up in his chair. Oh, you'll do nothing. Basically stole that from McGregor. Grabbing the belt, that's McGregor's whole shtick. Wearing dumbass suits. He's basically stealing everything. He's stealing everything McGregor worked for, motherfucker, as Nate Diaz would put it. And then Brian Ortega received a voice message from apparently a T-City fan. And here's what he said. Look, gave you a fucking chance. Saw that you had posted saying you were going through some shit and surgery or whatever the fuck. Time's up now, bitch. Tell me you fucking love me, or I'm gonna fly out to wherever the fuck you is right now, T-City, and I'm gonna diddle your little ass, boy. You ain't never been in the cage with a boop like me before. I'm gonna pull down those briefs and so, hey, got that voice message. I'm coming for man's butt, T-City. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way. I like you and I want you. And don't make me ruin that butt, Brian Ortega. I'm having a peanut butter and asshole sandwich. And then the $375 million settlement offer from the UFC has finally been accepted from Judge Boulware after he received a bunch of letters from UFC vets asking him to consider it. It's actually going to be totaling $260 million, counting legal fees. And a few fighters will have $1 million, 500,000, 250,000, 100,000, and then 50,000. So UFC's still cheap in its settlement offer. A bunch of fucking cockroaches. And now UFC fighters from 2017 onward are also asking for a settlement offer. So UFC are going to have that problem to deal with in the future. And then Dana White also has been manipulating Magomed Ankalaev and convincing them that he needs to put on a good performance against Alexander Rakic or he's not getting a title shot. He's convinced him he needs to strike in order to get a title shot. So Dana White is rigging that fight in favor of Alexander Rakic and has also convinced Arman Tsarukyan into picking John Jones as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. He's sucking up to the boss too. So Dana White has all the fighters in his company wrapped around his little finger. And it's getting scary at this point. He's always done it. He's done it for a very long time, since like the 2010s. But it's definitely starting to get out of hand. Hey, I'm fine with it because I hate Magomed Ankalaev. I hope he gets slept by Rakic. I don't think he will. But I would have booked him against Pereira by now. So obviously a lot of corruption with the UFC. Always has been. If Hunter Campbell's just going to keep on doing that shit. He's really good at being a passive-aggressive manipulator. So there you go. Or a gaslighter. And then also, yeah, and then we're going to move on to our next bit of MMA news. But that's all the stories I got for you, AJ, before I get to my next set, which is 1, 2, 3. I got 3 more. 3 more mini stories that I got to share with all of you. So, yeah, what do you think, AJ? And anybody else have any more news for me? I know that Isha was talking about glory, hallelujah. And some guy who got shot or injured over a fucking truck or something. What was it? Injured and shooting over a horse and ended some guy named Michael Dutt's career. Very interesting, but very niche news as well. And that's not what you're going to get here, Troopers and Grinders. I don't give a damn about being a hardcore instead of a casual, looking at all the regional MMA news. I'm here to talk about stuff that people actually want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm doing my my Brian Battle arc. And you know what I'm saying? Pooh Bear up in this hole, USA in this hole. Hey, did you really think that Hank the Tank was gonna lose to a French Canadian dude? Did you really think Hank the Tank was gonna lose in a news battle to a French Canadian Minnesota dude? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, 1 more minute before my next piece of MMA news for y'all. So y'all patiently waiting. It's like an AIDS test. What's the result? Not positive. Who's the best? Pac, Hank, and Big. Ain't no best. East, west, north, south, flossed out greeting. I embrace y'all with napalm, blows up, no guts, left chest, face gone. How can Hank be garbage? Semi-autos at your college. Silver off the side of your dome. Get out of my throne. I got this locked since 9-1. I'm the truest. Name a trooper that I ain't influenced. Got my servants all around me. Got my eyes on the Judas. Anyway, it's a little bit of Nas Ether, which is one of my favorite disses of all time. Highly suggest you guys check it out. Anyway, there's some fucking... You were talking about running it down, homie? I ran it down, homie. You feel me? You feel me? Anyway, I can tell when I'm underappreciated. Cannabis. Why you? Superman up in this hole. Watch me back it rocky roll. Watch me taking Superman that hole. Why you? Cannabis. I have smoked marijuana before. I have had weed before. I took an edible once. Don't do drugs usually, but how is the kush, man? How's that icky sticky kush? Why are you smoking on cannabis right now? You must tell me, man. Tell me. Are you on the cannabis? Is it legal in your state or in your country? You must tell me, brother. I think cannabis, marijuana is good. For medical reasons, it's good as well. It's mostly good for the body. I know that it can leave you feeling pretty vacant or slowed down, sometimes uninspired. But cannabis can also help with creativity. And it's good for mellowing out when you're having a stressful day. So, good shit with cannabis. Smoking that shern. Yes, sir. Your rap lines were from the rapper Cannabis. They were? Cannabis. Pretty sure that was from Nas. Cannabis rapper. Yeah, Jamaican American rapper. Second round KO. LL Cool J. Stage name Cannabis is a Jamaican American rapper. He gained fame in the 1990s. His ability to freestyle and released his debut album Can I Bust in 1998. All right, what's the song then? My rap lines are from the rapper Cannabis. What's the track? You gotta tell me, because all the shit I was saying with that little string of raps, that's from Nas's Ether that he did when he dissed Jay-Z back in 2001, right after fucking 9/11. It's crazy that those two guys were having a rap beef when their city was under attack. For God's sake, like, come on, guys, you might want to look out for others. In the meantime, stop being a bunch of selfish New Yorkers. Is Cannabis your favorite rapper, or do you have others that you find more important? Oh, yeah. Investigate 311? Whoa. Amber is the color of your energy. Whoa. Shades of you flow naturally. So easy. Oh, I can sing that. Yeah. That you want to know what brings me here. Oh, you glide through my head blind to fear, and I know why. Whoa, amber is the color of your energy. Whoa, shades of gold display naturally. You live too far away. Your voice rings like a bell anyway. Don't give up your independence. Nothing good comes easily. Something you got to fight. Yes, sir. Investigate 311, Eric Andre? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me in. Let me in. Good old Eric Andre. Yeah, I'm sure the band 311 is more interesting to dive deep into than the most tragic day in this country's history. It's all good. It's all good. Interestingly, they released Amber back in 2001, which is the same year as 9/11. Coincidence? I think not. Your boy is a criminal influence, and he's always disrupting me during the class. He's always pulling pranks on me. Your boy is a miscreant, and I got a camera. I got a camera. See, look, I'm coming to sit down, and look, there's the pen. There's the pen. He moved. You see that? And at the same time, he's just sitting there, and then the camera moves. Next thing, there's a little blip when I sit down. Coincidence? I think not. Anyway, got too much in my teacher from The Incredibles face there. But my next bit of MMA news, if you would like me to, troopers and grinders, here I go. 2 major fights have been somewhat announced in the UFC over this last week, with Jack Della Maddalena having a verbally agreed fight with Kamaru Usman in Sydney, Australia in February, and Caio Borralho entering negotiations with the UFC to fight Israel Adesanya. Perhaps on that Sydney card as well. Both great matchups the UFC can put a lot of hype into, and I think they're intriguing stylistic matchups as well. I've got JDM and the fight nerd Borralho in those 2 contests. Ooh. Sigga boy, bigger boy, ooga booga. Okay, boogie, guys. Okay, boogie. Stay away from me. Nobody's sleeping with their sister except for me. Okay, boogie, you dumb little kids. Okay, boogie. How is life? Life's good, Lakshya Ten Goyal. I did my tank tier list Tuesday the other day, and I think a lot of people liked it. Wasn't as many people as I usually get, but it was a fair enough amount, and they helped contribute to the stream and were very interactive. And it was a fun stream overall, and we got to really see who was the worst of the worst. And I got to put Logan Paul and KSI in hell. So, what's better than that? Also got to put myself in No Chill in hell because that's where we're going, right? Honestly, I hate Dana White. Well, we put him at the top of the Diddy tier list for what he did to his wife, which was pretty scummy and stupid. And yeah, Dana White, he and as I said in this news story, he was pressuring Magomed Ankalaev to have a fun fight with Rakic in order to even get a title shot. And he's convincing fighters that John Jones is the greatest pound for pound guy ever. Like, this guy's so fucking delusional. And he's so bad at booking too. And he's just saying all sorts of horseshit on Instagram. And it just feels like he's so out of touch with the MMA community at this point. It's actually getting ridiculous. And feel like Hunter Campbell one of these days got to cut the head off the snake, take over. He's not much better than Dana, but, he's younger. Dana White, fuck him for creating Power Slap as well. Shit's just unhealthy for its athletes. Dana used to be based. What? You got problems with him having a bunch of women's main events? You don't like the Apex? Think that the booking's shit? Why do he used to be based? Why is he no longer based? So tell me. Shared his wife with Vince. Whoa. Are you is that true? Is that backed up by proof? Do you have pictures of that? I mean, if Dana's wife was with Vince in a photograph, like, we can assume what Vince was doing with her, but did he seriously pull a Sean O'Malley? So that's actually fucking criminal, dude. That's crazy. You got to show me an article leading to that. Dana used to be based. What are we talking about? We're talking about Dana White being a piece of crap, which is, nothing new. I was also talking about how Jack Della Maddalena and Usman are probably going to have a fight that they had a handshake agreement on. And then Kyle Baralho and Israel Adesanya are also apparently working on a fight. Yo, what is up, bro? Love the channel, man. Keep up the great work, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Antoine Willis. You keep up your great work as well, dude. I like the selfie, by the way. You look good. Welcome to the Skate Tank Army. Well, I'm not going to say you look good on the level of a Diddy or Joe Rogan, but I'm glad you're here, Antoine Willis. And you I think recently you've had a pretty frequent presence on the podcast, and I appreciate your support, dude. Welcome to the Skate Tank Army. Poor Linda. Yeah, it's sad that Mr. McMahon has to have a fucking wife, because the shit that he puts her through with his fucking open relationships and his creepy message chains with other women, like. But I am assuming that Linda McMahon is fully fine with it, because you'd think that otherwise she'd have left him a long time ago. But she probably knows about all the skeletons in Vince's closet and just went along with it anyway. So, she deserves to go to hell just as much as he does. Fucking evil, sadistic dirtbag, Strange. Very strange. And think about it, Andrew B. He paralyzed her, put her under sleep medication, and then made her watch as he beat the shit out of her own son. Truly evil, truly. And she was also on Trump's cabinet, so she's fucking evil. What do you think of John Jones? John Jones? Dope the G? I think that John Jones is the number one pound for pound fighter ever. Anyone who questions John Jones being the number one pound for pound, he can get these hands. If you put yourself and John Jones in a room, you're not coming out. John Jones, he'll suck your dick for $5. John Jones, If you put Tom Aspinall and John Jones in a closet, that closet is getting torn apart, and Jones is going to be, help me. And Tom Aspinall is going to drag him back in and keep beating the shit out of him. Put him in there with Tom Cruise, Come out of the closet, John. Yeah, John Jones, he beats everybody. Francis. John Jones beats Francis. He totally beats Francis Ngannou. He's not ducking Tom. I'm not defending John Jones. I hate John Jones. Fuck him. He ran over a pregnant lady and ran back for his cocaine only. He used to put on the best fights before COVID. Now he just books events for the sake of putting events. No effort. This is his ego is inflated. Yes, he did. 2018 and 2019 were the best years for the UFC. And then COVID hit, and yeah, he started to fall in more and more into the hands of Turki Al-Sheikh. And then it was just a 4 or 5 country cycle and no other originality or creativity from the UFC. There's so much that they could be doing right now as the biggest MMA promotion in the world. And they probably have the worst promotional material in any MMA company. And they're the richest one in the world. It's just like the US being the richest country in the world and having no universal health care or any other social security programs. God bless you, bro. Of course, man. I love late night streams. Glad to hear it. Glad we can finally have a late night audience, because it just works for me, because I'm a busy guy. I've been submitting my applications. I've been canvassing voters for this upcoming election. So I've been involved, and honestly, it's just nice to have a full day and then be in a good mood when I stream. How do you feel about the next few pay-per-views? Let me look through it. I'll answer that question just for you, Antoine. Bum bum do 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 bum 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 bum. God damn it! Here we go. Yeah, but he is a billionaire. Wouldn't you go crazy too? Yeah, Vince. I mean, no, I think he was very specifically a deluded, crazy old man. He could have gotten out of the business whenever he wanted. Like giving it to his son in the 90s, 2000s. He could have passed on the torch, but instead he's way too passionate about his sport. He's way too passionate about the women in the sport. So kept on going when he really didn't need to. And now he just, runs the company out of spite. So I think he was crazy from the start. He doesn't like anything other than a certain kind of sandwich. He hates all other sandwiches. Like, the dude's just a fucking freak. He hates you when you sneeze. He'll literally put a blue dot around Christian's head. Like, this is not someone who went crazy and used to be sane. Like, when he was a young man, when he was in the 80s, he was threatening women and threatening other wrestlers and throwing himself at them and defending his wrestlers during basically homicide cases. So dude's always had a screw loose, always. Even when he was just interviewing the wrestlers, he was always a fucking psychopath. And he just chose to kill all the rest of his competition. So it's not prompted by money. That's just prompted by, I want to be number one. And that is quite the ego. It's just the same thing as Dana White. He's a fucking egotist. Let me go through. I love 308. Antoine. But that is because it is being booked by Turki Al-Sheikh, and Dana White will do anything for his turkey jerky, Turki Al-Sheikh. So it's good for a reason. This is going to be an excellent pay-per-view because there's too many good names. Oliveira and Chandler, I don't like that rematch. I think Oliveira is going to smash Chandler, but it's just because McGregor pulled out. I mean, it'll be a fun fight, but it's very useless. And it's just the same thing as Jones versus Stipe Miocic. No reason for it to get booked other than John Jones's personal little fun fight that he wants. No logic to it whatsoever. No hype, no stakes, no nothing. Weidman and Eric Anders. Wow, that's on the main card, huh? Bo Nickel and Paul Craig. That's a great fight. Azamat and Krylov's a great fight as well. Martinez versus McGee, that's a good one. Like the prelims for UFC 309 are really good, but its main card literally makes no sense, and it has fighters on there that should not be there. So that's UFC 309, and then let's look at 310. Muhammad and Rachmanov, that'll be good. Pantoja and Asakura makes no sense booking wise. They literally have nobody for Pantoja to fight, so I guess it makes sense. But Asakura's going to get his ass kicked, so in my opinion, it's a waste of a fight. Gon and Volkov's great. Evloev Sterling's great. Luque versus Nick Diaz makes no sense whatsoever, and it's just fucking depression central. Why would you ever book that in your life? Fucking idiots. Smith and Reyes, an actually well-booked matchup. They're just so 50-50. And then you have Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. What do you think's going to happen in that fight? Hooper's going to fucking kill Guida. What are you dumbass motherfuckers thinking? I don't understand how the UFC books its fights sometimes. They're on fucking meth when they book. Cody Durden and Joshua Van, great fight. Sharon Bresky, good one. Brown versus Battle's a good fight. Their prelim booking is excellent. And then when it's the main card, they just throw all logic out the window. It just infuriates me sometimes. How do they even think of putting these matchups together? They're fucking clueless. UFC 311, Almeida and Spivak. Man. Walker and Guskov is a great fight. That's a great fight. I didn't even know that was booked. Johnny Walker and Bogdan Guskov. I love that fight. Both guys have a chance to win that one, in my opinion. That'll be fun. And then 312, nothing's booked. But again, JDM and Usman and Kyle Baralho and Izzy, that's going to be good. They're just so back and forth. They're so unpredictable, you know. They're just unreliable all the time. And sometimes you have pearls when they're going off to the Middle East, and then anywhere else, it's just chaos, basically. I mean, there's always something to like on the pay-per-views, but Chris Weidman on the main card of 309 card, like, that's going to be a shitty card, in my opinion. And Twain! Yeah, I would have gone crazy. I wouldn't have. I love wrestling. I love booking wrestling. Like, you know, Triple H hasn't lost his mind. Shawn Michaels hasn't lost his mind, and those two are booking wrestling, and they're making a lot of sense to me. Tony Khan was already crazy before he even got All Elite Wrestling, but the bookers who run New Japan and, you know, other wrestling promotions and the smaller wrestling promotions as well, the regionals, they're not crazy. There's a lot of great bookers out there. You said you will see it later. Yeah, but I saw it now, so it is what it is. It's nuts. Yeah, a lot of it is. I'd say watch every card, guys. Like the pay-per-views, I get it. Pay-per-views are fun, but Moicano versus Saint Denis, that fight night was fucking excellent because they actually fly out to places that aren't Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi. And whenever they go to a place that's not in the big four countries, that's not the apex as well. It's usually a success. So, and a lot of cards surprise you. So I'd say just watch UFC whenever you can. It's fun. Yo, what is up, Andrew? And I love how you went that far down the pay-per-views, man. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Antoine Willis. I like your positivity, man. We need people with passion like you in the sport because God knows that we're getting tired. A lot of us are. A lot of us are burnt out by MMA, unfortunately. You're welcome, Willis. What you talking about, Willis? With pay-per-views, I need to pay it. No, you don't, Andrew B. Again, guys, I'm going to give you some nuggets of wisdom, guys. Meth Streams, crackstreams.dev, Stream East as well. And then there's psptv.com, and that has a bunch of different streams you can do to watch combat sports. At least that's what I go with. So there's always room for streaming out there, guys. And I'd say a lot of these companies are run by billionaires. You guys said it yourself that billionaires are crazy and they're stupid as well. So why do you want a stupid billionaire getting your money for a mediocre product? If there's a pay-per-view coming up, watch that shit online. Don't give them a fucking cent. They'll make their money anyway. They'll make their riches some way. That's all I got to say about that. Jenny. Yeah, pay-per-views you don't need to pay. If you're a hardcore MMA fan, you're not going to be able to pay for it all. So make sure you can have your little streaming service open. But let's get to my next bit of MMA news. Here we go. And make sure to ask me some questions in the meantime, guys. I'd love to hear some of your responses. Oh, I'm finishing up my story. So anyway, I've got Jack Della Maddalena and against Usman, and I got Braujo against Izzy. But those two contests, Usman's knees are buckled, and I don't think he'll have the same success in his wrestling we're used to seeing. Meanwhile, Della Maddalena has the better striking of him and Usman, and as well as dynamite in his fists. So I think we'll see a round 3 KO from Jack Della Maddalena. And then Caio Borralho, meanwhile, has great wrestling that Izzy hasn't dealt with in most of his fights at middleweight, except when Dricus latched up that rear naked choke and subbed him. So lost his last fight by getting taken down and choked out. And even on the feet, Caio came under adversity with Jared Cannonier and still outstruck him on the feet, almost finishing him as well. I think that Braujo will eventually find success on the feet against Izzy and break him. And when he needs to, he'll get Izzy down to the mat, smash his face too. Ngannou and Dricus are the only African kings I'm seeing from now on. So Ngannou and Dricus are the fucking chosen ones. They are saintly, and they actually have good souls. Meanwhile, Israel and Usman are just creepy characters who left their home country a long time ago and didn't come back, and are still pretending to be of that nationality. And a lot of their doctors, their parents are fucking doctors, or either that or fucking drug lords or crime lords. Nigeria, and his father, Usman's father, is giving him PEDs, and then Izzy's family is probably running a fucking tyrannical business in Nigeria. How else did he make his freaking money during times of economic struggle? His parents are fucking loaded. It's probably not the most moralistic of companies either. So, meanwhile, Ngannou had to fucking work in a sand mine and destroy himself, only to rebuild himself again. Had to travel throughout Africa and through the Sahara Desert, and had to hop over border fences and ride a raft to the other side of the freaking world in Europe in order to survive and become an MMA fighter. Different fucking problems. So Usman's a real fucking African king. So is Dricus du Plessis, since he has lived in Africa 24/7, loves his fucking country, and has shown pride in it. And then Mike Perry is also an African king because, hey, I mean, listen to him talk. I need to watch it all again. All of it. That's a lot to ask for, Andrew. I need to watch it all again. Then watch pwrestling.com. Pwrestling.com is what I would recommend, Andrew B. It has all the recorded shows from UFC events. So if you want to watch that, most of MMA you want is on pwrestling.com. Do you think that Khamzat is going to win? I don't think so. I feel like Whitaker is like the ultimate roadblock to success. Like, people have been saying this for a very long time. Like, he is the fighter to beat Khamzat Chimaev. He has great takedown defense at middleweight. His problem has very rarely been that he's been taken down, except by Dricus, who is now the world champion. And I think Whitaker's faster. I think he's used to the tricks of Khamzat at this point. He got outstruck by Gilbert Burns. If he can get outstruck by Burns, Robert Whitaker is going to outstrike you. Usman even outstruck Khamzat Chimaev, and he's a wrestler. Oh, you're a wrestler now. So I feel like Khamzat is usually very low output and low fight IQ on the feet. Whitaker, I think, survives the first round with him just because he's so used to dealing with middleweight grapplers. And then once we get into the second and third rounds, it's trouble for Chimaev. I think that Whitaker is going to put him out cold in round 4, round 5. They can show footage of Khamzat going against the bag as much as he wants. He is not the same striker that Whitaker is. All that you see during like fight footage that doesn't apply to the actual fight at all. I don't see him chinning Whitaker in that first round either. I think his striking's overrated. And he's been cracked by guys who he should not be getting beaten up against. So I think if we're lucky if he even makes it to fight day. So if that even happens, if a fucking flu or a bug or a food illness doesn't take him out, Whitaker will. He always trains too hard. Terrible immune system. Might not like the heat of the arena as well. I think Whitaker's already been there, so he's used to it. He's more active as well. Last time Khamzat fought was late last year. It's been a year. So I think Whitaker is more hungry, and I think he's going to just fucking outpace Chimaev over 4 rounds and outlive him. And just like Tito Ortiz said, outlive his kids. And then he's going to just crack him with a combination and put Khamzat out. I think he's overrated. Awkward. Can you drop it in the chat for me? I can't. Let's see if I can. I mean, let's see if I posted that correctly. Let me look. Yeah, I did post it correctly. So where the dot is, you need to put an actual period in that spot. No spaces, no capitals. It's pwrestling.com. So there you go. Khamzat got the first round for sure, but he gasses. Yes, he does. And I think Whitaker does survive just because he's so used to dealing with wrestlers before. He's a very experienced guy. I have never seen him get subbed, and he's dealt with wrestlers before. But Khamzat trains in Russia. That's a tough place with the high elevation. But has it translated to his fighting, Dope the G? Like when he fought against Burns, did he not look exhausted by that second round? Did he not look exhausted against Usman by that second round? Doesn't matter if he trains in Russia. He doesn't look like it come fight night. And we've seen it happen before. Oh, God. Moody, I don't think it's going to... Oh, I guess it does. There you go. .com. Yeah, well, Moody's got the link for you. But anyway, he trains in Russia, but again, he still looks gassed by the second round. And I'm sure a lot of Dagestanis have trained in Russia. That doesn't mean that you're going to have expert cardio for the rest of the fight. Cardio is determined by just your natural fucking physical build and how you deal with sparring and fights. And he doesn't look like the guy who lasts a very long time. I just don't think he is. I think he's going to tire himself out. So yeah, P Wrestling. There it is. Follow you wrestling, brother. Anyway, 5 more minutes, and then I got my next piece of MMA news for all y'all. I hope that Whitaker wins, just that we could see Whitaker versus Strickland or Whitaker rematch with DDP to see if he can survive DDP. You know, it promises a lot of fun matchups if Whitaker wins. But then again, Khamzat could fight Strickland. Khamzat could fight DDP. It's honestly a win-win situation, no matter who wins. And I know that Khamzat is a star in the making, even in spite of how many times he's shot himself in the foot. So he'll be good for UFC in the long run. Whitaker will be good for UFC in the long run. But I think that Chimaev is waiting to get fraud checked. I think he will get fraud checked very soon. He's come very close to it. I honestly thought that fight with Usman was a draw. I think it was a draw. If you don't count that first round as a 10-8, if you count it as a 10-9, then Usman should win that fight. Like, I know it was short notice. I know fighters don't always look like themselves against certain guys, but Chimaev just had nothing for Usman once he got out. Once he got out from the takedown in the round 1, like Khamzat just looked gassed. He looked tired. DDP for sure. That'd be a good one. Yeah. Who do you think wins in a rematch between Whitaker and DDP? Does DDP get the win again? What do you guys think? Is it as brutal and mauling as DDP treated Whitaker the first time? How about Mayweather will fight against? He always has exhibition fights with people. He fought Gotti. That was a fucking clown show. He fired his own referee for the fight, mid-fight. I don't give a damn about Mayweather. Mayweather should retire for his own good. Just continues to ruin his legacy by taking on all these clown show fights, circus fights. I think DDP will get the win. Will it be by knockout, submission, decision? What are you thinking, Dope the G? How do you see the second fight going? Do you think Whitaker has a different game plan and DDP has to adjust to it? Or is he going to do the same thing he did in the first fight? And it's just an interesting one to me. It's going to be a fun one. How do you think DDP does against Strickland? Does he have a chance in that rematch? It's going to be a good card. And Skatesman and I are going to be running down the card tomorrow. I've almost got my picks locked in. Let me look at Tapology again for this. 308 just stacked from top to bottom. Uncle Ive versus Rakic is a great fight. Murphy versus Ige is a great fight. Aslan and Kerquera, that's going to be huge. Neil getting a knockout. Oralbine, Rebecki. Like, lots of good competitive fights, but it's only when the UFC goes to the Middle East. Whitaker will take the win by TKO against Hamzat or against DDP. I think it would be KO probably in the third. Yeah. Fortunately, DDP just has different power. I mean, if he punches Whitaker, he's just going to put him on skates. Like Elsa! When I put him on skates, I had him frozen. Like Elsa, trust! Yeah. DDP's tough, man. People forget, man. He did drop Izzy several times, so he's got that power. Didn't drop Strickland, though, against DDP. Wow. Very daring from Andrew B. I mean, Whitaker looked great against Ikram Aliskerov and caught him with that left hook flush. So Whitaker he's looking faster than ever and more motivated than ever. So beware the Reaper, guys. Don't fear the Reaper, but do beware the Reaper. All that's come has gone. Peace of now we're on. People don't fear the Reaper. They're up in heaven for eternity. Romeo and Juliet, million Highland people and women, children every day. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the Reaper. Take my hand, we're gonna fly. Baby, I'm your man. La, 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 la. That's one of my favorite songs. The Blue Oyster Cult, great fucking band. We're used to heavy metal stuff. Cringe, bro? Yeah. And you say cringe to people all the time and do nothing but insult people. You're a fucking cringe person, Jaden Lazowski. I've never heard a positive thing come out of your mouth, you little fucking snake. So keep calling me cringe, bro. It makes you look cringy. Needs more cowbell? There you go. Glad it was a setup for a joke and not just a random ass insult. Although you've always struck a nerve sometimes, Jaden Lazowski. So I'm watching you, buddy. I'm watching you. I got a fever. The only prescription is more cowbell. And I like what you did with the chorus, and I love the beat, and I love the chords and everything, but it's just missing something. I don't know what it is. I'll be sure to help you, boss. Strickland will win by decision against DDP. So Andrew has Strickland. And I understand it. He was whooping DDP's ass. So good to see. I honestly think DDP could sleep Sean. Just feels like it, Like he wasn't able to get that big shot in the first fight. Like, feel like he can find it in the second fight. I'm sad. I'm officially out. Good to see you, Andrew B. Stay safe, my man. God bless. See you at the top. Woo! Need more cowbell. Yeah, man. You always start off the freaking introduction to the chat with something mean. Why always got to be mean, Jaden Lazowski? Anyway, my next little piece of MMA news I got for you. Oops. Here we go. Oh, my fucking Wi-Fi. God damn it. Oops. Here we go. Your nerves are easy to trigger, unfortunately. I'm a nice guy. I see. Well, sorry. I got a very itchy trigger finger sometimes, Jaden Lazowski. I guess that's on me. I got daddy issues. That shit's on me. So maybe I should see a therapist for that. I probably won't. Anyway, next piece of MMA news. Hamzat Chimaev looks like a librarian with glasses on. He does. He looks like a librarian when he has a pair of glasses on. Did you watch Mr. McMahon? I saw the reviews of it. I was expecting more from it. It just seemed like a lot of it was about his character and maybe a little of who he was behind the scenes, but it didn't seem like it was a big expose of Vince and all the crimes that he committed today. Like, he's done much worse. He's essayed women's referees and done horrible things to officials and killed a bunch of territories, and he's just a ruthless, power-hungry person, very controlling like Diddy. And he's been doing it for decades. And honestly, the documentary makes him out to be not as bad as he really is. Dude's a full-on creep. He is. Again, wrestlers have said that the Vince McMahon on TV is the exact same Vince that you see backstage. What do you think of the Jon Jones gay thing? I think it's absolutely true. I mean, there's footage of him at a comedy club. We can clearly tell it's Jon Jones. He's from New York. He says he's from New York. He has the vocal inflection of Jon Jones. I think he says he's an MMA fighter at some point. It's Jon Jones in that video clip, and he's fondling his male mistress, and then touching some trans dude, like assertively grabbing him. Like, he's just a creep, dude. He's such a predator. And there is footage of him being arrested, looking around for homeless people. You know, he looks around for gay people on the street, and he got caught doing it. And he also posts very, let's say, lewd pictures of himself with hardly a lot of clothes on. So, I mean, is he really looking for girls with that shit? Like, I highly doubt it. And then just sounded super gay during a lot of his interviews with DC. Like, he just has the inflections of someone who's on that, sexual plane. Like, he just sounds like it. And also, he took a bunch of steroids, which messed with his testosterone and easily could have, changed his opinions towards what was attractive and what wasn't. And then he also attacks his woman. So if you're attacking women, like, that means that you might have a problem with that gender, have more an affiliation for someone else. Then Dana White probably has some dirt on Dana White too. He could be a little gay himself. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the Jon Jones's gay theory. And again, that footage of the comedy club is sort of a ringing indictment. It's definitely him, but do you think it's just a trauma thing? Maybe. I mean, his sister died when he was young. That can weigh heavy on your brain. Sort of a fucking Freudian how to think about it. What is the word for it? There's a word for it, and it involves it being attracted to one's mother. Anyway, there's a part of the documentary, Oedipus complex. He might have a little bit of an Oedipus complex. There's a part of the documentary where he wanted to do a storyline WWE, yes, where his daughter gets pregnant and he's revealed to be the father. He's willing to do that for the world to see. You can only imagine what he does behind the scenes. Rigo raid. Get that gay man away from me, Sniff. Is he lurking? Where is he? Fucking Rigo, dude. Holy fucking shit. Dude, I'm in love with the MMA guru and Richard F. Holy fuck, guys. Oh my god, her tits, dude. Disgusting. I look a little bit like Rigo, but I am not Rigo. I get more of a tan. Steroids don't make you gay, brother. Yeah, but you going around and hanging out with homosexuals that does make you gay. And also making threats towards Dominic Reyes and Cormier, where you're going to make him your wife and you'll tickle his pickle. And also the fact that he was in here's a real fucking theory. The fact that he's a devout Christian. A lot of those devout Christians turn out to be homosexuals because they follow very stringent sexual laws, and then they They have a feeling of wanting to do something that they're not supposed to do. And that's have sex with men. So, there's the Catholic priests and all the shit that they were doing, So I feel like maybe his devout Christianity and his presence around his brothers, who are probably very touchy-feely as well and very energetic guys, like, I don't know, you get the feeling sometimes. Oh, Oedipus complex. Yes, that is it, Sniff. Almost beat me to it. I don't think he's actually gay. Just think that he drinks, he just gets trauma. Again, he has a male mistress and he fondled someone's balls during in a video footage, and said, "I'm here to help out the homeless people." Seems pretty clear to me that he's gay. And the fact that, again, he hurt his woman and keeps up this complex of being a good Christian and loving his wife, and then he does horrible things to her. Like, nah, he's secretly gay. I mean, when you're an active defender of someone who's gay, that could make you a little bit gay or repressed. If you can edit the movie poster for The Office for a future thumbnail, that would be fire. Fire. For the Office, the UK version or the US version? I know I got Steve. I've had Steve Urseg on the face of Michael Scott, but how else would I use The Office? Got you. I mean, Office Space. Hey, Jim. What's happening? Hey, if you could get those TPS reports into me by Sunday, that would be great. And I'm also having a torrid affair with your wife, and I'm doing it right now, Jim. But if you could get in here by Wednesday, Monday, that would be great. But there's my stapler. I'll just take that from you. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Hey, Sniff. What's happening? We're dealing with downsizing, and the office is getting really cluttered. So if you could go down to the basement and help get rid of the rats, that would be great. Yeah, but does Floyd, and he's not gay. Interesting. So does Floyd, and he's not gay. Floyd does what? I mean, he snaps and he goes crazy and he does shit. I mean, yeah, but he does expressly gay things. Like, does trauma really turn you gay? I mean, he's acted gay like in multiple situations. Dusty Rhodes wanting the TPS reports. Hey, brother, Ric Flair! Hey, well, look at you. Now you're just a lackey and I'm your new boss, baby. I'm not a boss, baby. That shit was in the 2018 movie that day. I'm a bad man, Ric Flair. And I want those TPS reports pronto. I want those TPS pronto. And give me some coffee, baby. And make sure that it's black. And make sure it's got some cream in it, baby. That'd be great, baby. Let's go take a bubble bath. Let's take a bubble bath, Ric Flair. You're not getting any of this cake for my birthday, baby. So hands off, get your paws off the merchandise. The Midnight Rider, like the coffee black, purple, pink, yellow. It doesn't matter the color of that coffee, baby. Just have it in my office, pronto. See what the G and dope the G stands for now. G? Heat woman. Yeah, but there's so much on top of that he does sexually. He just does it. Again, he goes around corners looking for homosexuals, and he's at a comedy club where he's fondling a dude. And he said that he wants anal beads up the ass and dildos up the ass. So would he ask for that from a woman for her to shove something up his own butt? Like, his wife must do that to him, and that's clearly not missionary, man on woman sex. It's clearly not. He's got a gay fetish, sure, but I don't know. I feel like it goes deeper than that, guys. You got Hamzat or Bobby Knuckles? I got Bobby Knuckles. Hey, if he had wheels, he'd be a bike. Hey, I'm here for short notice. I'm in fucking Minecraft. I'm in Skyrim. I'm gonna Fusro Da. Hamzat Shemaev. I'm gonna slaughter that wolf like it's a side quest in the video game. And I'm gonna do some masturbation. I'd wheels. I'd be a buck. I want John Strickland. I want DDP. And I gotta go through a little mangy mutt to get it. Hey, Bobby Knuckles. I got Bobby Knuckles. I think he's going to survive the first round. I think he's going to have good enough takedown defense. Even if Hamzat gets him down, I don't think he's going to finish Whitaker with a submission on the ground. And then once round 2 and round 3 turn around the corner, I think Hamzat's going to gas. I think Whitaker's just going to fucking lay into him, hit him with some big shots. He's got power. Whitaker's got a renewed power in his fists, dude. He's going to hit that beautiful combination on Hamzat, and he's just going to put him out cold. I think he's going to finish Hamzat in the 4th round. At least that is my prediction. Let's get on to my last bit of MMA news. Oh, you got to think this whole hitting women, which is probably ethnicity thing too, probably genetic. I mean, you got to see that African people are some of the greatest fighters. I'm Mexican, by the way. I mean, yeah. But don't you find it a little weird that he's in a family of Christians and he's doing that shit? Like, ethnicity is, and at the same time is brothers are all sports athletes. They all got a bunch of testosterone. Maybe a part of that's genetic, but at the same time, he's just got a ruckus family he's got a strange mix of Christianity and athleticism and big muscly men, and it's probably just getting into his head. He lost an important female figure in his life. Like, I think that, it's a combination of genetics and environment, Dope the G. I got Hamzat and I got Max winning by TKO in the 4th. Well, Sniff, I would love to have at least one of the two, Bobby Knuckles or Max, win. If Bobby loses and Max wins, I'm happy with that. If Bobby wins and Max loses, I'm happy with that. But please, MMA gods, have at least one of those two guys win. That would help. Would have liked to have seen Hamzat fight a prime Romero, dude. Romero would have smashed him, dude. He probably would have out-muscled Hamzat and barked at him like a dog. Run! Run! La candela! La candela! Hamzat Shemaev! Where are you? Hey, I love you, Wolfie! I love you, Shemaev! Hey, see you soon, boy. That would have been great. And then Hamzat's like, I kill you, Romero. I kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the wolf. Ah! I kill you, Cuban boy. And then he like kisses Romero on the forehead, and he's like, Rawr! I love you. See you soon, boy. Have you seen PGW wrestling? I I think you'd be a big fan. Look it up. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I already know it. Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Yeah, that is a pretty good sports organization. Introduced us to Ricochet, introduced us to Will Ospreay. And unfortunately, it introduced us to the Young Bucks too, and I fucking hate the Young Bucks, and I hate Kenny Omega as well. It had Sami Zayn and Kevin Steen in there in the good old days. AJ Styles was there. Fucking Super Dragon was there. That was fucking awesome. The lights going out. Keith Lee and Darby Allin in those days. And then they do the slow motion match. Oh, he caught him with the right hand. Atomic drop. Oh, yeah. He dropped the grenade. I love the slow motion shit. No, for gay Jesus. Look, gay Jesus, brother. Yeah. No, not PWG, PGW. Have a look. Okay. Oh, nah. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Okay. Was fucking, what was her name? Or his name. What the fuck? Sonny AEW. Was Sonny Kiss there at one point? Was Sonny Kiss a wrestler for PGW? I fucking hate Sonny. Sonny sucks. It's right up your alley. No, it's not. You're fucking gay. Yo, Hank, why is George Floyd 6 feet under? Because deep down, he's a good person. Jesus Christ, man. I know that he was on drugs and stuff and he'd rob people, but goddamn, it's cruel. You say that there's never some former criminals you say you haven't liked. There's a lot of people who are criminals, man. Doesn't mean they deserve to have their fucking necks compressed by a dumbass fucking hick officer. Yeah, it's right up in my alley. Good old Sonny Kiss. Fuck. Yeah, I'm into actual men's wrestling and women's wrestling. I mean, it's fine to have some gay wrestlers, as long as they can still put on a character and have good matches. Hey, I don't give a shit. But a lot of the ones that come from there are shit wrestlers or mid at best. Yeah, the Christian thing is weird, but that ethnicity is some crazy Christians. I'm just saying the truth. Oh yeah, ethnicity can come into play, and genes can too. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some crazy people of a certain ethnicity, but that doesn't mean they all are. Kurt Angle is my GOAT. I do love Kurt Angle as well. My personal favorite is Jake the Snake Roberts, just because he had that long and drawn-in voice. But now it's my turn. I'm going to make you beg, DiBiase. And I'm going to take every single one of those dollars you made, and I'm going to make you grovel. And you'll slowly sink into the muck of avarice. Never trust a snake. Just that fucking voice gives me the fucking creeps, dude. So good. And also, mankind, have a nice day. Do you think that girls wanted to go to the dance with someone who had worms on his breath? And I remember they called me a fat boy, and then they punched me in my lip, and it hurt. It hurt. But what I started to realize, JR, is that I had blood all over my white shirt. I was enjoying it. I liked it. Everybody started to call me Wormy Foley. Do you think I like that, JR? Hey! You don't give me that smug look. I ought to slap you. And I remember the sign. It said, Kane Dewey. You sick sons of bitches! He's an 8-year-old boy. Dude, fucking Mick Foley is the best. I've had white trash smash the windows of my car. I remember I was on a plane flight with a lady and she asked, is something burning? And it's me! I've met homeless people like that. True, but they just hardcore Christians. Yeah, or creeps on the inside. Jake made Stone Cold? Yes, with the 1996 King of the Ring. Who's Sonny Kiss? Gay wrestler. Love that you like pro wrestling. Yeah, I like pro wrestling. I was a pro wrestling fan before I was an MMA fan. And that's why I got into Conor McGregor and got into the sport. That's why I love Chael Sonnen. That's why I love Michael Bisping. That's why I love Nate the Train. Dude, all those personalities, they're like, dude, Nate the Train is literally just like a carbon copy of superstar Billy Graham. And you got to love it. Finally, let's get to my last bit of MMA news. We finally got Dana White's reaction to Francis Ngannou's win over Renan Ferreira in the PFL. And at first, he seemed amicable and said that everybody has to make money for their families. So Francis is going to do what he has to do. But then he got a little sinister, and the copium began to flow through his veins, troopers and grinders, boldly asserting that he knows how stories like Ngannou's end and wishes PFL and him the best of luck. Nice backhanded compliment, Dana. You'll see what happens with Francis. He might surprise you again and again and again. Where you at, Jones? He'll kick your ass and come get these hands, Rubber Ducky. Rubber Ducky, you're the one. You make bedtime so much fun. Rubber Ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Robo-bodio. When wrestling fans grow up, they transition to the real shit. Yeah. But I still like pro wrestling. I love Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre had a fantastic Hell in a Cell match a couple of weeks ago, and that shit's more brutal than anything you saw with MMA and UFC this month. So fucking bloody ass hardcore mud show matches, dude. Fucking brutal Texas death matches. You love to see it. When wrestling is actually taken seriously, it's on the same level as MMA. I think a lot of people were just afraid to admit it. CM Punk is the GOAT, and he is, because he actually says it how it is and like taps into real life energy of his opponents. Try to put on a show. And when he talks, you actually feel like he's saying something. He's the GOAT of MMA as well, totally. Mickey Gall is even better, though. Trust. CM Punk is real, for better or worse. That's why he's such a polarizing figure, is because he speaks his mind, regardless of whether you like it or not. During his time in 2013 and 2014, though, he was a little insufferable and always getting himself in trouble, but he's cleaned up his act at this point, and I think he loves working for the WWE now that Vince McMahon is dead, but the fact is, it's going to get taken over by his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family. Hey, Paradox the Chad, good to see you. Got 3 more minutes, guys, and then I think I'm going to head out soon. Yes, CM Punk is the best fighter. Of course. Rated 100 on the UFC 3 game. Trust. Yeah, man. Fucking Roman Reigns and The Rock and Cody and actually big names. Dude, Drew McIntyre is a fucking star. He's great. Hank tapping out early. It's been 2 hours, dude. Come on. Give me a break. I respect CM Punk for actually trying MMA. I do too. Because, you know, he was a horrible space for him in fucking WWE and Vince McMahon's shit. So if you want to be real and have fan engagement, try it out, man. It's certainly more worthy of it than Brock fucking Lesnar. That was the best WWE promo ever. Which one? The pipe bomb? Yeah. I'm the best in the world. And I know you hate that, John Cena. But the fact is, I'm willing to not kiss up to the boss like I'm Hulk Hogan. In fact, you kiss Vince's ass more than Hulk Hogan does. For all the people who are cheering me right now, you're the same people at the airport that forced me at 3 o'clock in the morning to sign those posters and sign your coffee mugs and sign your chairs. I am sick and tired of these people who are driving me out of this sport. I leave the WWE on July 26th, and I'm taking that WWE title because the fact is, you want to talk about anti-bullying campaigns? Dude, I love CM Punk. He's great. I've been gambling for the past 9 hours. Jesus Christ, Paradox the Chad. Do you even have the money to do that? Yeah, exactly. Think Triple H is a bad guy? Surely he knows about all the dirty shit Vince did. There's a lot of people who did. Lots of people who were keeping it under wraps. Certainly not as bad as Brock Lesnar. And he got a chance for himself to, run his own promotion, NXT, outside of WWE. So he's not as bad as Vince, but, Shane knows, Stephanie knows. Stephanie seems fine with everything he does. The whole McMahon family is a bunch of fucking monsters. It's just who's the best of the monsters at this point. No, it started with 10 pounds, and through the powers of bullshit, he lost it all. Great. You got to understand, CM Punk would probably whoop ass if he was trying MMA under a certain percent. Yeah, he's so good. 35%. Lane. 35. If... You guys saying a bunch of random shit at this point. I now have 42 pounds and 30 pounds in free bets. Hey, good for you, Paradox of Chad. Glad to hear. Just know when to cash out, all right? Once you've actually made a profit, it's good to cash out. Hogan is also a dirty, dirty boy like Vince. I can see it. Your favorite political opponent is here. How's it going, Just Deadpool? 35, I mean. Yeah, you're speaking in code at this point. Binary. I actually did a bad cash out earlier. Damn. Well, don't let me fucking stop you then. Did you see the text involving Brock Lesnar? Innocent until proven guilty, I guess. Yeah, I would have Brock Lesnar be involved with the legal case right now because it's clear that he had a part in it. Age, I'm so stupid. Oh, yeah. I don't even think age matters. I think he just had bad footwork for the cage. Most wrestlers do. Brock Lesnar was an actual A1 wrestler before he went into professional wrestling and a member of a football team. Shalom. How is it going, Cheddarhead? Well, I guess I can hang out for 30 more minutes. Hogan doing sex tapes. Yeah. And so is the Ultimate Warrior. All those fucking juice heads during the 1980s, they were definitely getting it on. Oh shit, everybody's here. Nice to see you, fellas. Yeah, wrestling, it's a dirty business. More dirty than MMA. Always has been, always will be. It's the worst there is, the worst there was, and the worst there ever will be. But we're still up. Yes, sir. Like the stream. Hey, what is going on? The musical. Baby Bunny. Musical. Oh, safe musical. Safe musical. Boring ass stream. Was Rigo's stream more exciting, Richard F? Did you have a good time in Rigo streams? How were those? Tell me about those. Memorable? Hello, Gray Shirt. Always good to see Gray Shirt here. He's a great supporter of the channel. Musical, are you not live? Rigo is a pig. He give milk to his babies. Not in the AM, bro, says, why does Israel do with all their trillions they get in welfare annually? Because their leader is a sociopath who has been in power since the 1970s and has always hated the Palestinian people and has always pushed for more expanded territory into the country of Palestine because he is, in fact, a Zionist. And if you got a Zionist running your country, not exactly great for your morals or, you know, your agendas moving forward. So, yeah, they make a bunch of money. They're a right-wing authoritarian country. Like the stream, guys. And if you want to, we got Cash Apps and PayPals, but you don't have to. Shama! What is going on, Chrissy J? Nice profile pic, by the way. It's always nice having Chrissy J in here. She's always a beam of light. Paz just raided Hank. Nice. I'm glad to hear it. Is this a raid? It's a raid! Get down! Get the fuck on your ground! Hands behind your head! Hey, I didn't do nothing, man. Dude, it was just a little ounce of weed. I didn't do nothing. Is this the free crack giveaway? Hands on your knees! Oh! It's all Bill Goldberg's fault. Everything's Bill Goldberg's fault, including all that Saudi money, man. He kicked the shit out of Bret Hart and ruined his life. Told you it was a Rigo raid. Ooh! Bro thinks he's Goldberg. No. Ah! Bro, stay on. You got hardcore MMA here. I will stay on. WWF stream. Yes, the World Wildlife Fund. Paradox the Chad raid. Hell yeah, we're having all these motherfuckers. Hey, USA in this hope. Y'all all watch Hogan's sex tape and enjoyed it, you filthy WWE enjoyers. It's definitely a look behind the curtain of Oz. I haven't been a Lego stream in like a year. That's good to hear, Richard F. I'm glad to hear it. Did you see Putin's got North Korean troops in Ukraine now? Yeah, he'll take them from anywhere as long as they can all enter the meat grinder. Wait, you're self-hating, Jay? I hate Zionists and I hate the IDF. That doesn't mean that I hate my own religion. I mean, I don't even practice my religion. I'm ethnic. But at the same time, I don't like the current government. That doesn't mean I hate Israel as a whole. Learned that Kamala is a Jew today. Well, she's got her husband, Ben, right? No, she's got her husband, Doug. So, yeah, it makes sense. Wonder if that would be the first time a Jewish person has entered the office. Can you tell them to give the money back with interest? Yes. No, Javolt, Babalos. You have to give the money back with interest. Yeah, otherwise, how can I not afford the capers and lox on my bagels? How can I afford my matzo ball soup? And the raid just left. just with one snap of my fingers. Half the population at my command. What did it cost you? Everything. Reddit. Yay! That very wholesome place of kindness and love and shared feelings. The fuck? Hey, it's a little kitty in a box. It's a dick in a box. Ow! Dick in a box, girl. Have you done 308 picks yet? We are going to be doing that, me and the Idaho Skatesman, tomorrow, Thursday night. So stay tuned. Everybody who rated and all the troopers and grinders out there, I will be doing a preview and pick stream with my main man, the Idaho Skatesman, who's usually to my left. So we're doing a pick stream tomorrow. I've already got 2/3 of my picks done, but if you want me to, I can give you an early preview of my picks. Funny how after seeing Paradox, you immediately do a Derek Lewis impression. Yeah, man, that dude ain't fucking UK pale ass motherfucker. That's a black man from the South. I'll tell you, my mom and she taught me to recognize vocal tones of fellow black brother. And I'll tell you, Paradox the Chad, he's got a black ass, he's got a black ass profile pic. Woo! Cheap North Korean labor, I guess. I likes you and I wants you. Now we can do it the easy way, Paradox, or we can do it the hard way. I don't want no kitties. I don't have no cookies and milk or nothing. I came from man's butt. Don't make me hurt that ass, Paradox. Sniff, how are you? Are you up to date with Andrew's new shorts? Very important that you guys check out Andrew's new shorts feed because he teaches everybody how to do the hank honk, the hanky honk, which is a very important celebratorial cultural dance of Andrew B. It goes back tens of thousands of years when Hank the Tank first ruled the earth. So hope you guys check out the hanky honk. User find it's the powerful Zionists who are causing the issues. Very shrewd point from Jaden Lazowski. Very excellent point. Max will KO Ilya in round 4. I think he's going to win by decision. But he could kick Ilya in the face and put him out cold. Definitely. Andrew said he's going to do the haka, the hanky, for his next short at Paradox. Ooh, the haka. Ooh, banana. Give an early preview of a couple picks. Any dogs? Any dogs? Oh, I got some dogs for you. Got some stinky dogs. From running around so much. I got dogs. Hot dogs. Whitaker win to back inbreds in Arabia. Probably. Well, he's got to find some way to pay off his continued stay in Abu Dhabi away from his sugar daddy, Kadyrov. Let me see the odds. Actually, guys, I need to use the bathroom. Be right back, guys. Hold on. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm coming back. Can Whitaker win back-to-back inbreds in Arabia? He can. I think he knocks out Shemaev round 4 KO. So underdog opportunities. I think that it's always Chris Barnett, but I think Bruno Ferreira. Bet the house on Bruno Ferreira. He is an underdog. I think that he can beat Abus Magomedov. Abu, as Sean Strickland would say. I think he beats Abus Magomedov pretty easy by knockout. I also think Rafael Cara can knock out Ibo Aslan. So I think he's a good underdog. Let's see. Is Lerone Murphy an underdog? No, he's a favorite. It's Rakic is a plus 320 underdog. That's pretty good. Whitaker, actually, you know what? I'd say Robert Whitaker is the underdog to pick. Max is a good underdog too, dude. Main event and co-main event. I think Whitaker's more likely to be an underdog in the co-main event, so I'd pick him. And then Rakic is a good underdog as well. So those are the underdogs. Thoughts on Andrew doing a live stream? That's fucking base, dude. A fitting of the base King Chadru, dude. Of course he goes live. Andrew also said that he is down to snort some snow with me. Based, dude. He's still so based. It's unbelievable how based he is. Hey, man, I didn't do nothing, man. Who's that an impression of? Let's say Derek Lewis after he's gone 110 miles per hour. Or George Floyd. Who knows? That is amazing, Sniff. Probably also the Booty Warrior as well. Give us your U.S. election prediction. I think Kamala's going to keep the blue wall. I think she's going to keep Wisconsin and Michigan and then Pennsylvania as well. So I think she's got those 3 states in her back pocket. I think she's going to win it. Also, if we do our part, oh, Jesus Christ! Does Max get it done? I think he does. I'm going to pick Max and I'm picking Whitaker, but I think Whitaker is more likely. You sons of a bitch. Hey, you misspelled it, okay? Bad. Close enough. Garbage. You guys, you need to go back to fucking school, guys. You don't know how to spell. Not on the AM, you fucked it all. Yeah, you fucked it all up with the fucking yeah, you can put a K in there, Sniff. There's no K in there. What the hell? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, again, you guys are commenting over each other. You ruined it. Almost spelled Nike. And that's wholesome. I thought you were Paradox of Chad, not Richard F. Why the fuck is this? They are in the attic. Oh, my family. They are worried for me. I feel like Goldman will betray us, but I still have hope in the human race. Bruno Ferreira is a good pick. It is. Thoughts on her diary being written with ballpoint pen, which hasn't been invented yet. Oh, guys. You're really trying to turn real life people into fantasies and make horrible, disturbing fucking massacres look like trivialities. That's what you do. Yeah, wasn't it made in the 1950s? God, you fictionalizing. You guys never cease to amaze me. Inhumane things happened in places that aren't the United States, guys. Party at Andrews for New Year's. Freak off party? Am I invited? You got Shara or Petrosian? I'm going with Shara Bullet because Petrosian just has a very low output. I think Shara is just going to hit him with some body kicks, hit him with a few leg kicks, touch him up with a few jabs because he's faster. Petrosian has never really impressed me. Oh, wow, you just copied me then. Damn it. You're awesome, bro. Love it, Dope the GM. I appreciate you. I literally said the same thing in my vid. I said Kamala wins Michigan and Pennsylvania. Then we just agree with each other. I'm not copying you. I just think that we both agree, which is based. If Andrew were to fall from the sky while playing a drum kit given to him by the devil, could you say that he would be Down syndrome? You almost caught me there, Paradox of Chad. Close, but no cigar. If Andrew were to fall from the sky, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. What would Andrew be falling from, by the way? Would it be a helicopter? Would it be a private jet? Would it be his throne elevated on a drone? Like, where's Andrew falling from? Empire State Building? Or that big-ass tower in Toronto? And Frank invented the ballpoint pen. Yes, Cheddarhead. Therefore, it all makes sense. Auto Frank right now. Dude, his nails are fucking cut off the bone. This man's been chewing on his fingers a little bit too much. I've already got MMA news for all you guys. I mean, if you want, I can give you a recap of all the news I've been saying so far. Nah, bro, saw my video. I watched Let's Talk Elections. What other ones do I watch? What do I even watch? I have a few guys who look at vote turnout output in Georgia and in North Carolina. So I look for all sorts of sources for my my election updates. Betting on the Armo to manhandle the red-headed, one-eyed freak. I hope it happens, Cheddarhead. I sincerely hope that it does happen. We'll see, though. I made that vid like almost 2 months ago, and a lot has changed. Trump is leading right now, and he can win. This is still 50-50. It seems like a very close race. But I do like the output numbers for Kamala in certain states, especially the blue wall is pretty good. Pennsylvania, no matter how many stunt shows Trump tries to pull with the McDonald's shit, I think they finally let Tim Walz out of his cage to just rip him and Vance and Musk and Trump to shreds. And so I think they actually have some energy again. But one thing I will tell you guys, and I hope that you agree with me here, Kamala's doing something really fucking stupid by having Liz Cheney on everywhere she goes. Literally, little fucking sister of Dick Cheney, fucking war tyrant. Why does she have her with her attending rallies and answering questions? It's so fucking stupid. She's got the Biden staff whispering in her ear for this campaign. It's so fucking stupid, guys. You don't watch Red Eagle Politics? I've definitely seen different shit on Twitter. CNN, MSNBC, ABC News. Yeah, I trust CNN as much as I can throw the headquarters. I watch independent YouTubers. That's how I've always gotten my information. I get my politics from Sniff. Very trustworthy source and non-biased whatsoever. What do you think about Tommy McMillan, the guy who trains with Sean O'Malley? Let me look up Tommy McMillan. Looks like Peyton Talbot. I mean, dude. Yeah. Look at this guy, dude. Pink fucking shorts, too. He looks like Peyton Talbot. Like, fucking vape up his ass and everything. Dude, that means that this guy's going to be prepared. He will be prepared for Peyton Talbot because he's dealing with a fellow Peyton Talbot in his own gym. Why, did he do something horrible? His nickname's Gun, so might have a good shooter, if you know what I'm saying. 6-0. We're on the verge of being the next UFC star. Guillotines. Yeah, he won a title. Could be a creep, though. Is Liz Cheney a conservative? Yes. Well, she's a former Republican who's now anti-Trump because a lot of Republicans are getting off the Trump bandwagon at this point after being under his thumb for so long. She's still a Republican, but she now supports Kamala. Sort of this bipartisan kind of campaign, but it's backfiring because Democrats actually want someone who leans progressive Democrat, and now they're not getting it. She literally talked about Trump's words to women and brought Bill Clinton on 15 minutes later at the DNC. I know, such a stupid moment. Actually have some fucking progressive representatives. Have Bernie Sanders on there. Have AOC on there. Have fucking, what else? That guy from Kentucky is pro-abortion. Have him on there. Guys who are actually trying to lead you in a certain direction. Have Gavin on them. Why wasn't Gavin there? Any update on getting monetized? We are about halfway through, but dude, I'll stay on stream if we got 14 people here so we can get some watch hours. You guys keep on the stream. It actually helps us out. We'll get closer to getting monetized. We're almost there. I'm gonna do some videos eventually. He was going to fight on Dana White's Contender Series. That's right. He seemed to have a 6-0 record. Armin Petrosian is a good bet, but fight is favored to go long, and I don't trust the judges. Well, don't you think the judges would pick Shara Bullet since they're in Abu Dhabi? Don't you think they'd lean towards the crotch sniffers? But he pulled out due to injury. He's good, bro. He's undefeated. Nice. Well, I hope we get yet another Sean O'Malley in the UFC. God, that's a horrible thing to say. I hope we never get another Sean O'Malley in the UFC. All the retarded Republicans left. Oh, the ones that are trying to keep their own careers or know that they're unpopular. And so they go and they attach themselves like fucking leeches to a new political movement. It's not benefiting the party at all. Ones that were basically scum and made people liberal in the past. I mean, are you scum if you're actually considering like the other side's point of view? Like, doesn't that show that you also like actually have consideration for the American people if you're willing to see your enemies' insights? Like John McCain, I never considered a scumbag and a leech. Like, there were times that he actually did vote for good legislation. Damn, son. Yeah. Just Deadpool's on a fucking tear right now. That's on Kamala bringing up Trump's words about women and then having Bill Clinton on 15 minutes later. Well, yeah, didn't Bill go right after? Yeah, I mean, how much is that her and how much is that the Democratic National Convention? Because, like, you can't just assign all the responsibility to her. She is a member and a constituent of the Democratic National Convention, and no one should like the Democratic National Convention or like the Democratic establishment. Democratic establishment sucks. The Republican establishment sucks. The general political establishment is fucking hot garbage. I don't know if Kamala was responsible for having Clinton on. She hasn't had Hillary Clinton on her own events. So I don't know how much of that is her and how much of that is the establishment, but it's so fucking stupid. Yeah, it's a dumb fucking move. They're joining the other side because Republicans aren't being ran by a politician anymore. Yeah, they're being run by a clown. He's Adolf's number one boy. Oh no, I blame the establishment as a whole. Yeah. I mean, that's why people even voted for Trump in the first place in 2016. They had wanted someone to take on the political establishment, whatever the hell that was. And then he ended up just catering to the political establishment. And it's always a matter of who's going to take a little more chip away at a little more power from the establishment. And in my opinion, that's the Democrats. He's white, bro. He ain't Peyton. Oh, what do you think about Peyton, by the way? Well, he's got the sort of hairstyle of Peyton, and if he's working with Sean O'Malley, he probably has similar moves. What do I think about Peyton? I think he's going to be a contender at Ben. It could have been a contender. He could have been somebody instead of a bum, which he is. But I think Peyton is knocking out fools exactly how he says he will. I like confidence in contenders. Those guys usually rise to the top and get favorable matchups. I think he's going to be a title contender in the future. I don't know if he wins a belt, but and depending on who's, the one holding it, fucking Umar. But I think he definitely challenges for a belt in the future. Can't wait until January 6, 2025. Yep, Cheddarhead and good old Hank the Tank. He's here with me, brother. You remember QAnon, aren't you? Yeah. They got him in their sex dungeon, brother. We gotta force Harris to sign the election results. Yay! Let's get JD Vance. Let's hang JD Vance. So now Trump is Adolf. I mean, he said recently that he was in favor of Adolf's policies, and he likened himself to. I mean, he's mentioned it a bunch. Like, tell your dude to stop mentioning Adolf, dude. It's not good for his campaign. Like, the more he mentions dictators, it's not good for him. I need the kind of generals that Adolf had. He literally just said that recently. So he needs the generals of one of the most vicious dictators in the world. I'm telling you, this dude's worse for Israel than the Democrats are right now. And that's saying something. Such a ridiculous and dangerous comparison. The man who literally had no wars going on during his office run. I mean, he said he wants the generals of Adolf. He literally just said it. Okay? So he needs to stop comparing himself to him. He's throwing his name in the ring every time he fucking talks. He said he wanted to get rid of the Constitution. Tell your guy to zip his fucking lip about comparing himself to Hitler. Host debates on stream. One of these days. I don't know if Skatesman will like it. You're right, though. He does have the hairstyle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's wrong with... yeah, I'm sure he was a very kind man, a saint, and very lovable guy who only wanted one race to inherit the earth and killed all the other ones. Yeah, he's great. He loved animals and poetry. Oh, yeah, such a sweetheart, such an artist. And then his father spanked the shit out of him and turned him into a monster who didn't care about anybody but himself. And hey, guys, how about this? He said he wanted blue eyes and blonde hair as like the ultra alpha man, right? Or the what do they call him? The Superman, um, Ubermensch, and he had black hair and didn't have blue eyes. So he's selling y'all a fucking story. I'm just saying my opinion, dude. I think that she wants to expand healthcare to include home care. That's a great fucking policy. I'm sorry. Like, no other presidential candidate is even mentioning this shit. She actually wants to go after price gouging and cut grocery store prices and continue and increase the minimum wage and lower drug prices. Like, that shit's good. Have red flag laws so that we don't have fucking psychos who can get a hold of a gun anytime they want to. I actually agree, and expanding Social Security as well. Like, there's some actually good changes that she says she's going to do. Doesn't mean she wants the values of them, but you can't deny they weren't a powerful force. They were absolutely. Like, they were a big, powerful fucking army, and they almost took over the entire continent. I will give them that. But I'm just saying, in this kind of fucking environment, it's bad to just throw it around. It's just not good for your campaign. It's not smart. He was an amazing speaker. Yes. It's just too bad that his ideas weren't so amazing. One country almost took over the entire world. It is true. Can't deny the accomplishment, even though it was evil. Yes. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. Here's a history lesson for you guys. This could have, a lot of it, been avoided if it wasn't for the Treaty of Versailles, which basically ruined Germany as an economy and set it back a bunch of fucking decades, left its economy fully inflated, which allowed that evil man to rise to power in the first place. So, if we'd have actually treated Germany like we did after World War II and like made sure that its economy grew, that had a good, economic trade network, and that it could actually recover itself like Japan did. Like, if we'd have just treated Germany with some mercy instead of being petty towards it for World War I, we probably would have never had World War II, and that idiot would still be a flunky art student. So what good is Kamala going to do? Is she going to stop those wars or what? In Ukraine, I think she's probably going to continue those wars. Trump would aid Putin. So, he wouldn't stop the war. He'd just be helping the other side. Kamala has talked about a ceasefire. She's talked about an arms embargo at one point. And Trump says that he's going to give more weapons to Israel and more weapons to Netanyahu. So, I mean, maybe there's a higher chance that we stop the Gaza genocide. But I'm not sure, dude. I'm not sure. And I'm going to tell you this, Cheddarhead. The whole political establishment, left and right, they're all warmongers and they're all neoconservatives at heart. So, you're probably not going to see an end to the wars, no matter who is in charge. Increasing minimum wage was so a McDouble can cost $20. Yeah, that's because those are the bad ones that actually don't want unions and don't want people making money, and those people will flee. The ones who are actually hanging around like In and Out, who actually give their workers a good wage, they actually still function as a business and they actually make a profit. So, and they still sell their burgers for $5. So it's very easy to actually run a fast food establishment and pay your workers well and have low prices of food. It's not inherently going to mean supply and demand. Everything increases in wage. That's just the people who do the price gouging, and they're going to keep doing the price gouging. Why doesn't anyone bring up Kamala with P. Diddy? But we'll bring up Epstein with Trump, despite Trump kicking him out of the building 15 years before anything came out. They both have photographic evidence, and honestly, I don't think a lot of people even know about the photos that you're talking about with Diddy. I think it's just less known. But did you see that recently? Trump actually came in on Epstein's private jet, which is pretty fucking crazy. Germany got absolutely destroyed. I understand the people's frustration 100%. Yeah, should have been nicer to Germany. Why do we care about Ukraine? Because we basically, during the 90s and the 2000s, we helped restore democracies in Eastern Europe, took it out of Soviet hands. So we're very proud of that democracy. And at the same time, and this is true as well, the U.S. has taken on its own responsibility as preventative right to protect, right to prevent, RTP, They basically instituted a measure with the UN where it's basically a protector of people's rights and sovereignty all across the world. And so basically, when someone just declares war on another territory and invades it willy-nilly, especially in Europe, the U.S. doesn't want Putin to set an example and just invade countries willy-nilly. So it's backing the country that is protecting its own sovereign democracy, and also to prevent it from invading other countries as well, which could create a whole nother Cold War. Trump literally wouldn't let Putin invade. How would he invade him? I think that Trump would basically threaten Zelensky just like he did in 2018, 2019 when he told him when he had blackmail on him to dig dirt up on Hunter. Like, he doesn't like the leader of Ukraine. I don't think he would even be able to negotiate a peace deal because Zelensky fucking hates him. He hates his guts. He'd never sign a peace agreement that Trump was trying to sign unless he had full direct control over it and already got what he wanted by the time he signed the peace agreement. And he just doesn't trust Trump. And who would? Ate him. More weapons. Who is going to pay for that? Us, the taxpayer, for a military that's already fucking huge. That's what the Republicans always do. Pour all of our good taxpayer money into weapons when there aren't conflicts, so that they could keep their own established power of military guys who pay them as lobbyists, instead of putting them into Social Security or Medicare. Let Russia take those guns. Not our problem. All right. Well, that's the isolationist viewpoint, and I respect that. Who are you voting for, Hank? Voting for my local representative. I am voting for most of the propositions that are on the ballot, and you know who I'm voting for. Ukraine is Yugoslavia. I've voted for Democrats since 2020, so it's not changing in terms of the presidential election. Let's just say that. And beyond Kamala Harris, I'm voting for fucking Tim Walz because he actually set a good example of how a state and a governor takes care of his people and make sure that they can actually have free school lunches and pay for education and pay for healthcare and not have to pay for healthcare. Climate change legislation, good gun legislation as well. And even if you don't agree with the legislation itself, the fact that someone actually puts care and effort, legislative effort, into trying to prevent it, I think it's admirable that there's someone who actually cares about the issues. And I feel like Tim Walz is just a nice guy, not against the Second Amendment at all. He just seems like an even down the middle dude and just a kind person. He's a smart politician as well. I'm going to vote for a smart politician over a dumb one every single time. Ukraine is Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia is another country, I'm pretty sure. Trump was with his kids once on a jet, which every billionaire does. Most times the owners aren't even in the jet. People take Trump's plane just the same. You know, he's been accused of RAPE since the 90s, right? Multiple SA cases with young women. Where's Melania, by the way, guys? You have to let me know where Melania is. She's missing right now, and I need to know where she is. Can you explain why 80% of American Jews vote Democrat while the vast majority of the Republican Party support Israel, where Democrats don't? Because the Republicans are a bunch of neoconservatives who are pro-military and pro-expansionist, as they've been since the 1980s. Like, Republicans are way more likely to declare wars and foster America as an empire than the Democrats are. So that's why they're supportive of Israel, because they want the U.S. to control the world. We should find out who was on the island outside those big parties, the private ones. That's where you'll find stuff. Well, I mean, good luck, just Deadpool. You got to investigate for me. I know Big Gates was there. Zelensky is a puppet for one of the most corrupt governments of all time. I have no sympathy for him. He had an even more corrupt leader for Ukraine before he showed up. The other guy was just fucking taking money and not doing anything politically and was perfectly willing to throw his country down the river in order to make a few bucks. So I see Zelensky as an improvement over the previous leaders of Ukraine. I mean, there's fucking former fighters and wrestlers who have been leaders of Ukraine and refused to join NATO and keep their country safe. Whereas I know that Zelensky, if he was in power before that, would have joined fucking NATO in a heartbeat. So weren't Trump and Zelensky just chilling together the other day? Yeah, and it was the intensity in the room was palpable. Tension, sorry. Yeah, like Obama, who was a worse war record than Bush. He actually ended a war. I don't remember Bush ending any wars. I remember him declaring war against the wrong country and bombing the shit out of and bombing villages and killing children just for some fucking oil money. I see Obama as better than that. He has a worse war record in terms of the drones, absolutely. But um, I think that Obama, I wouldn't say he's anti-war, but he was able to get us out of a few wars that we shouldn't have even been in. No, I mean Trump or Kamala. Yeah, I'm going with Kamala. Thoughts on Cali's psychopath? Gavin Newsom? He seems like a bit of a centrist to me. I voted for a Green candidate over him in 2020. So next time there's an actual progressive candidate running for governor, I'll probably vote for them over Newsom. Yeah, he actually seems like a good guy, and he has a decent track record as well. You're going to call him Tampon Tim and all this shit, and avoid the fact that he made so many kids' lives better in Minnesota and made his economy fair for everybody and his low unemployment and good wages as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Walz transforms soon. Tammy Walz. God, why do you got a problem with him? He's just a fucking American dad. And he actually had a point when he was fucking slandering Trump and the couch fucker, J.D. Vance, as well as fucking Elon Musk of his own armpit, husk or of a person, fucking vacant shell. God, you guys try to make a negative out of the most kind of people. What the fuck's wrong with you? You mostly drink or smoke, to be honest. A lot of us do. Only thing I'm drinking is fucking water. I mean, hard vodka as well, but hey, I drink H2O. Gotta have some water in it. Anyone who attaches their train to Kamala is not bright. Yeah, okay, great. Says a fucking idiot who tries to make a complete enemy out of the other side and villainize them. So I think it's not too bright to polarize this country and keep it even more divided and hate your neighbors and not have any sort of approach where both sides can come to any sort of agreement. You're going to live to a fucking early grave and have a downward spiral. But I've disagreed with you before, Lane, and you've acted fucking ridiculous. Yeah, this is fucking simple-minded. They're actually people. You guys have the idea that someone can actually vote the wrong way and actually have problems, but actually still care about their country, right? Like you can make a bad decision, but if you're actually doing it for the sake of your country and you truly believe that that person can actually change your country, what the fuck's wrong? What's the fuck's wrong with that? Like you should respect them for actually caring enough to vote or even supporting someone who's a politician in the first place. Most people don't even know shit about politics in this country and don't even care. So that anyone who's even involved with politics and actually getting involved should get a fucking medal. Dumb motherfuckers. Trump isn't a traditional Republican, so you don't need to worry about all that military. Yeah, he set the date for Afghanistan, but he didn't pull us out. But also, I mean, you got to admit that fucking Putin was wrapping him around his finger every time they had a meeting. It's clear that though he had a fucking hard-on for Putin. Considering Trump has avoided 3 assassination attempts the last few months, it's probably the reason Melania is keeping a low profile. Maybe. No, but she's been gone since fucking 2016. She hardly shows up to anything. And again, Trump has a horrible track record with women, and he has attacked them in bathrooms and forced himself on them. And that's just the truth. Think these leaders take Biden and Kamala seriously? Usually they don't. Seems like they're just forking out billions to Ukraine and Iran. Not to Iran. Don't you mean Israel? They're not helping Iran. They're saying yes to Israel when they're declaring war on Iran. They don't give a shit. They're fucking psychotic. Ended a war by absolutely destroying countries. Yeah. Hank's on fire. Let's fucking go. I'm here for it. Glad to hear it, Western. You see that Tim Walz's entire family endorsed Trump? Hope and his son Gus. And there's no fucking way that's true. Gus, who's literally cried during his dad's Democratic National Convention speech, endorsed. I'd have a hard time believing that. And yeah, you can have conservative members of your family, and you can disagree with them. I mean, the fact that he has family that disagree with him also shows that they're not fucking hacks. That he's not a hack. That his family, maybe they support him personally, but It shows that he hasn't politicized his own family. He's a weirdo circus freak. Yeah, because he expresses a little bit of joy. Meanwhile, your vice president denied that Trump won the election. He's a fucking clown, your guy. And he wears fucking eyeliner under his eyes, by the way. He wears eyeliner like a fucking goth chick. What do you think of Putin? You agree he's at least a smart guy right now, do you? He's definitely tactile. He's definitely strategic, and he's smarter than a lot of other world leaders, and he keeps them guessing. So I will give him credit for having a good battle IQ and military IQ. But he's almost gotten his own country overthrown. And again, you keep putting your soldiers in your own citizens in a meat grinder. Eventually, they're going to revolt. So he's also fucked over his own economy with all these embargoes. To me, he's given up his whole country's stability in place of his pride and his legacy. I think that's pretty fucking stupid. Walls never had a valid point in his life. Yeah, neither do you. Again, you've completely villainized the other side, and that makes you look like a fucking doofus. Most kind of people, after bringing up the circus freak Tom Walls, yeah, just because his belly's a little big, Ric Flair. Just because I got a little bit of a pop belly. But I'm bad, and you will know I'm bad, just Deadpool. That's a fucking sincere as honest Abe. You don't know, you'd never know a fucking good political leader. Again, like you say, you call him a fucking clown. You say that Trump's a clown. I've seen you in a message say that he's not a politician, that he's fucking goof, that he's not a real politician. So Tim Walz is a politician. He's actually served as a governor. So show some fucking respect for a person who legally won and politically won an official political position in the president of the United States, not your fucking circus clown. Hank, I do appreciate your passion for politics, though I do disagree with you. Respect nonetheless. You didn't villainize Trump. Guys had lies in literally the 9 digits. He tried to overthrow our election. He actually had his supporters go to the Capitol and break down windows, and 5 people died. Has any other politician done that? He has also been accused of rape and put rapists in the Supreme Court. Yeah. And he wears fucking orange skin paint. He's not even fucking real. Half of his face is fucking plastic surgery. He's literally a cartoon villain. Fucking John McCain isn't a villain. Mitt Romney isn't a villain. Even fucking Nikki Haley isn't a villain. Liz Cheney, she's a bitch. Dick Cheney's a villain. Dick Cheney's definitely a villain. But there's levels to it. Ted Cruz is a slimy piece of shit. Politicians aren't good people. Some people want to become a politician to do good things. So I would argue against that. I think Abe Lincoln was a good person. I think George Washington was a good person. Yeah, because they invite so many conversations with implementing the speech laws. You'll see in a couple years, no matter who wins, so we'll agree then. Well, Democrats and Republicans are both against certain freedoms. That is true. But again, your side supports fascists who are willing to overturn election results. So don't really know about freedoms there. And also took away the right of abortion. So if anyone's taken away rights these last couple years, it's been the Republican Party. And you know that. Alrighty then. Sorry you were triggered. I was talking about Walz attaching his train, not you. Well, I like Tim Walz. So that's when you're disrespectful towards someone I respect, I'm going to disrespect you back. Hey, JL. Good to see you, buddy. Maybe we can talk about MMA now. Allegations are truth. When you compile enough of them, start just like Diddy, right? Had allegations for years and years and years, and everybody had a feeling that Diddy did it, but nobody said. Anyway, you inciting Hank? What the fuck? Didn't they give billions to Iran a year ago? I'm gonna look that up. Actually, that's a good point. I'll look that up. U.S. billions. I'll tell you what's stupid, guys. Not putting together a nuclear deal so that Iran doesn't build nuclear weapons. Trump took us away from that nuclear deal when Obama was able to pass it, and we haven't been able to have stability there or security in knowing they don't have nuclear weapons since. So that was just such a dumb fucking idea. And Trump just, his whole deal was repealing a bunch of shit that happened during the Obama years. So again, it wasn't about passing shit. It was about taking us out of shit. $10 billion thanks to U.S. sanctions. Okay, there you go. Cheddarhead's got a point. Once in escrow in electricity revenue. Purchasing electricity from Iran and change pass for Iran to convert its revenue into euros. Drawing the money for budget imports out of Iraq. The extension comes just a month after Hamas, blah, 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 conduct a surprise attack. Expert analysis deserves great credit for supporting Israel campaign to destroy Jesus fucking Christ. This is greenlighting the funding. It is beyond belief for a regime that will turn around and use the money to wage war. Yeah, Biden's foreign policy is shit. I'll agree with you there. Never called you an idiot or worse. Was always in fun. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that I called you an idiot. But again, you when we start saying he is, she is about people that I respect, that's when we get in trouble. Are you American? Yes, I am. Do you think it's better for a country to maintain amicable relations with Putin or better to denounce him? We've had amicable, and this is how it led to Russia invading Ukraine in the first place. We were amicable with him. We never drew any lines or boundaries with him for decades and basically tried to avoid him, not even talk to him, not even like disagree with him on anything. And that led him to get the jump on us when we didn't defend Ukraine. We didn't put into NATO. Russia basically said, fuck you, and invaded. So you have to respect your opponent and realize their capabilities. And we didn't for a long time. So I say it's better to denounce him at this point, at least. JD Vance isn't my guy. I don't know anything about him. And Trump has a back record of picking his people. Yeah, Vance fucking sucks. I've never seen his wife and kids anywhere. Guy is a clown. And again, his whole point is to basically deflect and not to agree with everything that he says. He's a terrible vice president. Doesn't have any principles. He used to be a Republican that was against Trump, and then he just decided to sell out. Thoughts on JD Vance marrying an Indian Tulsi Gabbard endorsing Trump? I mean, I don't know if you can connect 2 and 2 together there. Tulsi Gabbard used to be a Democrat, and then she sold herself out. She's a neocon. She's a poor excuse for a Democrat. Putin seems like a fun guy. Seems like fucking Satan himself. I mean, when he's on a bear, hey, that's great. And when he's playing some music, it has his shirt off. Whoa. Oh, but he's so cool. He's a Giga Chad. He's like Elon. But, dude, deep down, the guy's fucking vindictive, strategic bastard. Bye. All right, catch you later, Lane. Let me know when you want to talk about MMA. Like to have a glass of vodka with him. I mean, I'm sure it'd be good for a little private conversation, but dude, have you looked behind those fucking eyes? He's got cold, dead fucking eyes, dude. Guy is vindictive, and he was a member of the FBI as a CIA agent spy, so it's not like that dude's warm, cuddly teddy bear. He's not. Said Trump is a goof? When? You said that there's arguments against both sides, and that Trump isn't exactly the best of politicians that cares about the American people. He cares about himself. He spends all his time on golf courses. And you said that he's not even like an active politician, that he does a bunch of shit that's for his own well-being, and it's not exactly for the American people. You said that. Your black accent's way better than Rigo's ones. Blood. Said he's not a traditional politician, which is just a fact. And you said that's for better or worse. Whoa. Never told people to break in the Capitol. Trump said peacefully. Requested reinforcement in the National Guard, and Pelosi refused and admitted to being at fault. Yeah, she fucked up by not reinforcing security. But the fact that he even had to have a big rally near Washington, D.C., and the kind of language that he used was obviously in rebellion and was against the results. He couldn't admit that he lost. So both sides are at fault for that one. I pay for him for organizing all those people and throwing them towards the Capitol, and then her for not increasing security. It's both their faults. Excused of grape by a blonde ditz that was giggling about it on TV for a month celebrating the win. And it wasn't her. It was another lady too. Multiple women, not just one. It wasn't Stormy Daniels. It was another woman in the 1990s. Wait, are you voting for Trump or not? Just to confirm, I'm not voting for him. I'm voting for Kamala. Sorry. And I know that fucking MMA fans usually push their way towards right-wing ideologies. Is just true. And I don't know how many times Trump's been on fucking Dana's shows, but he's been on a ton. Unorthodox, conservative, social outcasts, people who feel like the system has betrayed them. Those are people that are MMA fans. So honestly, I'm happy that I can be an MMA fan and still stick to my own political beliefs. I don't need a fucking sport to push me in that direction. This is a game of political outcasts. That's what MMA is. Back to the States. Also, they're aborting another human, not their own body. We used to have Roe v. Wade in place for 5 decades, and no one was saying shit about it except the psychotic evangelical right-wing nut jobs. So, sorry. Again, people who are pro-life have killed doctors, so I don't take anything you say seriously. Yeah, the rights for them to get rid of it and further divide this country. Keep on doing a good work and making us all hate each other. Money Iran got is minuscule to what Israel and Ukraine get annually. Exactly, not in the AM. Kamala also took away all of Trump's border preventative policies so she could claim she fixed the border. Both sides do the same. She's a vice president. You know that, right? She's vice president. She can't do fucking shit. Also, they had a border bill and Trump killed it. That money went straight into Hamas's pocket. Speaking of Biden, where's he been? Haven't seen him in like 6 months. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, they don't even want to show him on screen because they're scared of what he does for Kamala's campaign. Putin saw Biden waddle into his office and thought, oh, yes. Well, actually, Biden's been against Putin for a very long time. He was actually like, when was the first time that he had a meeting overseas with him? I think it was 2014, I think. 2013, 2014. And Biden's always been, he's actually been a member of foreign policy in the Senate, I believe, foreign relations since like the 1980s, 1990s, maybe since the late 70s. Biden's been involved in foreign policy for a long time. So Obama actually relied on him to have meetings with Putin during 2014 and 2015 because Putin refused to talk to Obama because he's a fucking racist. So Biden basically just sat down and gave him fucking direct message that we're not taking shit from you anymore and we will defend countries that we believe have sovereign rights. Obama went nowhere with Putin. It was actually, and I'll also say this: Obama basically allowed Putin to do a bunch of invasions of Crimea and had no responses to Russia's invasions. So I blame Obama for a lot of the shit that happened that led to the Ukraine war. Just did fucking nothing. Should have had Biden around before then. It was created and funded by Israel. I believe it, boob. I'm actually enjoying this conversation. I think we're gaining some ground, and just don't take everything so personally for people you respect, because I can admit they are all playing a game. Yeah, they're all part of the establishment in some way, and all of them have limits. Golf is a healthy sport, lots of walking. It's too bad a lot of them do it when there's a fucking natural disaster and horrific terrorist attack in times where they're fucking needed for their country. That's usually when they're playing golf and avoiding their responsibilities. So got a guy who's playing golf 24/7 instead of being in the Oval Office. They usually don't care that much about the politics. I got to stretch, by the way. Ugh. Got to go grab a water too. So I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. I said 30% of that. I said he can get himself into trouble, and when he's out of office, yeah, he definitely does. Maybe both sides can progress through policy, not everything about Trump. I think that's for the best. Again, it's better to just have the old Republicans, even the Tea Party. I take them over the Trump Party. Actually, have some potential to pass some legislation both sides can agree on. I respect your thoughts. Thank you, Dope the G. When did the pro-life become psychos? Man, come on. Again, they had protests in the 90s where they killed doctors who allowed abortions. Like there's historical evidence of this. Like I haven't seen people who are pro-abortion who have killed doctors before. I'm sorry. I just have to compare and contrast. Can you do a poll in chat, Trump or Kamala? Jesus Christ. How do I even do that? Give me 1 second, guys. I have to look this up. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. I'm gonna look this up. Wait. In the meantime, I'll okay. There's more. Please, I will. Hold on. It's crazy how many people are in here. It's nice. How do I set up a poll? I'm gonna look this up. How to set up polls on YouTube. Select either a text or yeah, that's right. For text polls, enter a question in the text field. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I get to pin them, right? Yeah. Let me go to YouTube. But I want to let you know this is not going to be explicitly political for the rest of my days. I'm not going to turn into a fucking no-chill and be a political pundit. This is about MMA. Almost said, and I quote, I can't think of anything when asked if she changed any policies or actions Biden took in the last 4 years. She said she wanted to expand home care recently. But yeah, it was a dumb fucking answer. It's definitely a bad fucking answer. And expand Social Security. She probably wanted some shit that was in that Build Back Better bill before Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema killed it. Well, I'm trying, guys. Let me try to set this up. There it is. All right, there we go. I did it. Why didn't they let people vote if they wanted Kamala? Because Biden was getting old and everybody wanted Biden to drop out. And literally my own uncle, who's been a Republican before, said, dude, they need to replace Biden with Kamala. Basically everybody, including the Democrats, including the American people, were talking about, dude, Democrats have a chance with Kamala. So most people were all right with Kamala. And the fact that she got a whole bunch of support as soon as she started running proved that it was a wise decision and that it was a popular decision. You're trying to pretend that that's, not something that people wanted. I don't think anybody wanted fucking Biden there. Do you have a degree in politics? You seem like a smart guy. I'm a history major, so that's pretty close. Could have had Trump versus Oprah. That would have been who gives out more? Who gives out more free stuff? It's a good one. And then Biden was so crippled and demented. Putin knew he could invade Ukraine easily. Also, Biden advocated for segregation, signed off on bustle. Yeah, that was when he was in the fucking 60s and the 70s. What I will say is he was terrible for the crime bill, which was hold on. What's the word for it? I'm trying to find it. The word for it. Exorbitantly targeted members of the black population in the U.S. That was a terrible fucking bill. But, black politicians signed off on it too. So, again, establishment politicians. And also, Biden helped Obama sign Obamacare, which has put millions and millions of Americans on healthcare. So, and he also signed the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the first piece of legislation to actually help with climate change, which does exist. I don't care if I had a fucking debate with Bodak, it still exists, and it's still, even if it doesn't kill the human population, it still causes problems. And he lowered drug prices. I want to eat so much right now. Have you been eating it all? I'd recommend some like proteins and some healthy shit, and try not to eat before bed. It's better for you. And also, he's brought in fucking manufacturing jobs, all the ones that Trump lost. Take your time, bro. The guy that stretch proceeds to just wobble his arms around a bit. That's what I do. Order 100 wings on DoorDash, Cheddarhead. Yes, take the no-chill MMA route. Musical is enjoying this so much right now. I'm a Hank fan, always have been. Pull up your stream on your phone, do the poll from there. Okay, I did it. Are you on bad terms with No-Chill? No, No-Chill and I are cool, dude. We've messaged each other in private. We're buddies. And he helps me out a bunch as well. I don't think so musical. I'm friends with him. The one problem that we do have is that I was a judge during one of his streams where he was fantasy booking with Paradox, and I gave it in Paradox to Chad's favor, and he was upset with it. So sue me. I don't think so musical. Trump KO'd Walls, 4th round TKO elbows. Cage fighting, maybe. Actually, no, Trump's he's fucking bent over and he's fucking hobbling wherever he walks. Dude, Tim Walz would fucking hit him with an uppercut and knock him out with the butt of his gun. We all had a political debate though in Discord. Yeah, it's true. It's sort of crazy that No Chill has a politics section. I'll be honest with you guys. Nah, you can't get away from politics just yet. This is your audience. Yes. Hank, as long as you keep that open mind and drop a little bit of bias and don't take non-personal things so personally, you'll come around a lot more. I try to get along with people. It's just when there are things that people say that I feel are ignorant or I just feel aren't true. I don't know. I take up my side and maybe I get a bit too passionate. Fucking hate Oprah. Yeah. You'll get a car. You'll get a car. She's not exactly Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa was never a saint either. You know what else crippled the black community? Abortion clinics on every street corner. I mean, again, and this is because I read a book in the 1950s and 1960s that was all about urban black communities, lower income black communities in the 1960s in urban areas in New York City and in Pennsylvania. And there are so many pictures of single black mothers whose men left the family. She's left with fucking 14 kids. She certainly wasn't going to any abortion clinics then. She had no access to abortion. So now she has to feed fucking 14 kids. No chance of putting them up for adoption. She's fucked. So abortion often prevents families from going fucking broke. Trump lost the jobs, but then they claim bounce back jobs. Well, I feel like there was legislation that passed jobs. And again, you could look at the CHIPS Act. You could look at the Inflation Reduction Act as well. And those helped create jobs as well. I'd look into that. Do you enjoy it when Kamala laughs? Nah, it's pretty cringe. It is pretty cringe. My husband dog. Look at her. She is annoying. But she actually, was a vice president and was the deciding vote on a lot of legislation that I support. So again, it all comes down to policies. I don't give a shit about character. It's not, WWE or a cartoon where you have your favorites based on their personalities. If a politician had the personality of a wet fucking piece of wood, I'd vote for it if it had better policies. Would you rather have 2024 Kamala or 2016 Hillary Clinton? 2024 Kamala. Because she has Tim Walz as a VP. I don't even know who Hillary Clinton was planning on having as her vice president, but she was so fucking full of herself, and she was supportive of the war in Iraq in 2004. So again, she's no better than any centrist or establishment Democrat or Republican. Hillary in 2016 sucked. She was such an arrogant fucking nutcase, and she had rehearsed answers to all the questions during the Democratic primary debates. She was a cheater on top of that, and basically stole the 2016 primary from Bernie Sanders. So fuck her. Do you believe the rumors that Kamala blew her way to the top? I think she did have some of her boyfriends were in high places, but I think she was also a pretty upper class kind of woman. So I think she did have a lot of those people in her life. And even the people that she did have, who she did, people claim blew her way to the top, they said, dude, no, that didn't have anything to do with it. And even if she did, she worked as a fucking senator. She worked as a congressperson, state assembly member, then went on to be a major senator in the country, one of two, and then went on to run for president. So if you say she blew herself to the top, she can't blow her way through a Senate race. She can't blow her way through a Democratic primary that made her popular in the first place. She can't be popular enough that Joe picks her as his nominee through sucking her way to the top. Like, you got to admit that there are certain qualities that make her a popular candidate. Thoughts on Kamala using an earpiece at the Trump debate? So, like, to get better hearing, or what are you trying to say? That she also staged her answers or something? Do you have photographic proof of that? Clinton is much smarter than Kamala could ever hope to be, but she was pretty evil, whilst Kamala is a puppet. Again, they all have their pros and cons, and all have their corruption at the end of the day. But again, it's about policy, and I just think that she had policy that was actually beneficial for the country. Hillary Clinton had legislation that takes us back to the 90s. Tim Kaine was Hillary's running mate. Okay. Yeah, Tim Kaine. Standing up for Virginia as junior United States Senator. Interesting. Yeah, I think Hillary fucked herself. You think Kamala's superb at BJ's? I know, you'd have to ask Doug. Kamala has. No, she used to stage answers. Well, she definitely. I mean, you gotta admit that she played Trump during that time. Like, she had answers that basically forced him to answer in a completely off-cuff way. She also had Pete Buttigieg as her coach, and if you've seen Pete Buttigieg on Fox News, he goes into the fucking lion's den and he basically answers their questions with a snap of the fingers and basically counters and pushes it back onto them. So Pete Buttigieg is great for public appearances, and he was her coach. So I feel like Pete sort of coached her way to the top. And it's obvious, considering Kamala literally can't form a sentence. She definitely has some scripted moments, for sure, during her debates. Meanwhile, Trump is off the cuff, but he also says fucking random nonsense, word salad garbage. That's fucking dangerous. And again, pushed our population to revolt against our own capital. You don't think Kamala has staged answers? I think she does. Yeah, she has staged talking points as well. But I'm saying that Hillary literally, she had the script. She had the script of the answers of the questions that the people were going to say. She read the notes ahead of time. She knew the questions ahead of time. They both lied, and she never once got called out. You're saying the moderators were biased? They're both shit on Israel. If you look back at that debate, they're both fucking warmongers. But again, she can form stable policies. He can't. He has concepts of a plan. He has terrible answers, dude. He's just getting old. It's like he can't like out charisma his way out of political situations at this point. Has Kamala ever worked a humble job in the McDonald's like Trump? I mean, she said that she worked at the McDonald's first, and then Trump basically piggybacked off of that. That is a funny joke, though. That is a good one. It's one of the worst speakers I've ever seen in my life. She's definitely awkward. But again, I care about policy. But Tim's not. Tim's a great speaker. He makes up for her lack of ability to speak. He didn't push the population to revolt. He said protest peacefully and offered the National Guard. But again, it's about the idea of it, that he thought the election was false. Like, I don't see Democratic candidates telling its people to basically push themselves onto the Capitol and protest. I haven't seen that from Democrats. Republicans, I mean, you have to at least admit that it was a fuck up of his, and that is still continues to be a fuck up, in that it's staining his political legacy and costing him votes. I mean, you have to say that it was a fucking mistake at the very least. What's her policy? Her policy is basically she's going after price gouging, which is basically what a lot of people assign as inflation for high grocery store prices. She wants to reduce the price of housing as well by regulating the markets. That's been responsible for some of the fucking propositions we gotten in California that are on the November ballot. She also wants to expand healthcare to include home care, which is basically healthcare for elders, 60, 70, 80-year-olds, who are allowed to actually have healthcare without the people, usually their sons or daughters, having to pay out of pocket for their expenses. It's weird. She has a policy where she's going to continue fracking, and that sucks. She has a pro border policy that is the same shit that we had in 2022 that was voted on. That, honestly, I think that's shit. She has been the only candidate of the two of them to say that she would consider an arms embargo and she wants a ceasefire. Trump doesn't want a ceasefire, as much as he can sometimes pretend he does. And then, let's see. Is there stuff I missed? Both candidates have their issues. Hank, I'm telling you, if Tim gets into office, you see how weird that guy is. Just remember, I'm calling. You know that Tim had the whole weird thing, right? He came up with the weird thing. He called JD Vance and Trump weird, and it caught on. It was the first sign that the campaign was doing well. When they called Vance, they implied he was fucking his couch, and then Trump doing little dances and fucking the American flag and wanting to basically get involved with your bodies. He came up with the weird campaign, and it caught on like wildfire. That's the reason why Kamala even chose him as the VP. But it's ironic that you call him the weird one. When he invented the weird idea that apparently stuck because people thought they were weird. Both your parties are fucking weird. And again, it is strange that he and his wife had to use IVF to have their kids. But I mean, look at Gus, dude. Come on. How are you saying he's weird and when he's got a son like that and a daughter like that? You think? Meanwhile, JD Vance has never shown his kids or his family, and that's the truth. Do you think she'll do that for all that, or is it 99% fananer nanner? I think she'll probably do 50%. They often do 50%. They never get it all done. Not even Obama after 8 years. We both agree the Dems are the first party to publicly use the federal government as a weapon against a political opponent. What timeline is that specifically? When was that? She has the same administration as Biden, and that's been in for 4 years. She said herself she couldn't think of any changes. Well, again, I think home care is pretty big. And again, like, the ideas themselves are solid. It's just expanding them. It's like Obamacare. We want universal health care. It may not be like original, but it's expanding on it. So it's like very similar ideas. And if she's the vice president, yeah, she's going to go along with that agenda. Which candidate is anti-Israel? Neither. I'm not talking about the trends. I'm saying Tim is a genuine weirdo. I mean, his constituents in Minnesota don't seem to think so. He seems pretty popular in he ran for a position in a Republican in a county that had never swung Democrat in like over a century, and he won that position. And he's won his gubernatorial elections pretty easily. So. And it's to the point where he's hugging kids and be like, hey, you get free school lunch. Yay. I mean, he seems like a wholesome guy. I mean, maybe the little, that he does. Oh, thank you. That's a little fucking weird. But so is Elon going. That's a little fucking weird, right? Vance seems pretty regular. Dude, he literally wears eyeshadow. And he used to be anti-Trump, and then he fucking sold out. And again, he never shows his family. And dude, I would recommend, is what I recommend. Look up, I think it's JD Vance, like buying ice cream, or JD Vance, like going to a sandwich shop or something. Watch his interactions with the lady who's running the restaurant. It is so fucking awkward and cringe. She doesn't know how to talk to working class people. It was part of the campaign slogan. I mean, have you not been following? When he called him weird, it spread like wildfire. It's the reason why he was picked as VP. Vance looks like the most vanilla guy ever. There's no requirement to show his kids. No, I'm saying the fact he talks about his family all the time, but never has them on. He never, like, he pretends to be a great family man, and then he hides them. He literally hides them. He's not a family man. He's a fucking creep. And again, he pretends to be like you even when he's a billionaire. And he made a whole book that went against rural people and called people from the South hicks, and people in country, rural people fucking slobs and idiots. I don't respect JD Vance. Elon is on the spectrum. He is. Elon's just autistic, and he has no friends either. That's why he's sucking up to the rich people, because they'll cut his taxes and they'll be friends with them. You don't like Vance because he has to wear studio makeup? Just like Ron DeSantis has to wear lifts to pretend that he's tall. Again, it's people who literally have to wear fucking makeup, and Trump has fucking orange fucking skin. Like, people who can't eat, they're like the girls who are literally showing themselves in Photoshop, who change their fucking facial expressions and have different kinds of like layers of makeup on to try to make themselves look attractive. I just respect someone who doesn't do that shit. I think it's cool for little kids to transform. If they are, then they need well, and this was with fucking Charlie Penguins Zero with what's his name? I forget. The guy that Strickland beat up. Almost walked into that one. Oh Jesus. Sneeko. Yeah. I'm saying if there's a certain age for it. I think it should be above 18. It shouldn't be when you're fucking tiny little fucking kids. That's creepy. But if they aren't going to transition, I don't want them doing it themselves and fucking hurting themselves and killing themselves. And it is important to have sexual protection, because you could be a baby mama and dump it in the trash. And since you don't have fucking abortion in your state, what are you going to do? So having sexual protection, having IVF, having abortions is good for people's sexual health in general. Cool for little kids to transform. That's close-minded. Can't claim weird. He started calling Republicans weird, and it caught on. It's just the truth. Go back and look at the fucking interviews. He was the first one to call them weird. He was. Yeah, but he made it public and he made it popular. Come on. He's not orange. Thoughts on Newsom? He's a centrist. He's passed some good things that have benefited students. In particular, I respect, because I was a high school student and he fucking made sure that I got my fucking Z's. And also, what else did Gavin fucking do? Oh, yeah, he invested in green technology, has made sure that we were a climate-friendly state, and I'll always appreciate that. Increased the minimum wage as well. Did it for fast food. I don't give a shit what anyone says about certain franchises leaving. Benefits working class people and benefits young adults. Every single politician on TV has to wear studio makeup, including Democrats. Yeah, but dude, you're not going to tell me that some aren't doing it more than others. What about the Indian guy? Oh, Vivek. He's a suck-up, just like all the other ones who lose to Donald Trump. They turn into suck-ups. Dude, I got 5 more minutes, and then I got to go, guys. I'm sorry. I got to go, guys. Eventually, I got to fucking end this, or else my physical health's going to fucking rot. So 5 more minutes. Wow, tough to answer that one for you, eh? You think it's cool for little kids to transform? It's a very broad question, and it's a gotcha question. No matter what you answer, you come out looking like a fucking weirdo. So you're pressing it on people like Fox News. I think that there are certain instances where people who do want to be trans can fucking hurt themselves. And so they're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway, or they're going to do it in a way that fucking gets them hurt. So might as well have an easier way for them to do it because they are going to do it. What about Biden using different faces? Yeah, he is a weirdo. And I wanted Bernie to go against Trump in 2020, not Biden. We're on our fourth Joe Biden right now, so no transitioning till 18 or no. Yeah. Yeah, if you're supposed to get married, the legal age of marriage is 18 and a bunch of other sexual stuff is 18. I feel like transitioning should be. And it's just a weird situation, man. I mean, I think after 18 would be good. Running out of Joe Bidens. How many Bidens have you collected so far? Got to catch them all. Newsom overall, we should agree, is a psychopath. He owns a winery, so he's not like he's a man of the people. He's an elitist, and he got trouble for a sexual affair. So I don't like that. But again, it's about who has ideas that I can get behind, and it's usually Democrats. Crazy Biden quit after Trump assassination failed. Yeah, but after the debate performance in general, the Democrats were literally pushing for him to, what is the term for it? Pull out of the race? No. To resign? It wasn't to resign. It was to pull out of the race and elect Kamala instead. Yeah, but it was over after the debate performance. Yeah, but he loves being interested in mutilating little kids' bodies. Jesus. Hank, I think it would serve you so well to not pigeonhole literally everyone and everything. Okay, that's, again, I've seen comments from you from 14 people where you've done the exact same fucking thing. So both sides are fucking pigeonholing people. I have to deal with comments where you're literally pigeonholing individuals and certain movements and certain policies and everything. We're both villainizing each other. How do you not fucking see this? No matter what you answer, leave kids alone is not a weird answer, man. Come on, what the fuck? Again, it's not even that they're convincing kids. They're kids that are going to do it anyway. That call them mentally ill. They're probably mentally ill, yes, but I like it or not, we're in a stage of our society right now where kids feel trapped in their own bodies and want to make a change, and so it's not like other. I mean, again, we're gonna pretend like, oh, it's the gays and the drag shows that are pushing kids to be trans. I'm not gonna fall for that shit. There are people who are hermaphrodites and homosexuals and queer and on the LGBTQ plus spectrum that have been around forever, and we're pretending like this is a modern issue. No, I'm saying that, and again, I said that at 18 and above, so not early. But I'm saying that their kids are going to do it anyway. They're going to do it to themselves or fucking kill themselves. So if you're going to take that over fucking killing yourself, sure, go right ahead. Might have to be done here. Hank, it's been real. All right, sounds good. And I got to get out as well. Kids change their minds. That is true. And that's why I think you have to be at a certain age to do it. Can't agree that fundamentally changing little kids' bodies is wrong. Then our society is so disgusting. Yeah. But again, there are people that actually enjoy their new bodies and don't fucking kill themselves. Again, the people that you're going to see who destroy themselves early in their age, like they were going to do it anyway. So if it's a way of preventing kids from offing themselves, fine. No, I don't think I've ever villainized you, Hang. We haven't villainized each other. I'm saying we've pigeonholed certain people, certain policies, everything in politics. Jeds, even adults change their mind too. So we shouldn't entertain them hurting themselves. Letting a professional do it is ridiculous. Not themselves. Letting a professional do it is ridiculous. Again, it's the same thing as abortion. It's like they're going to make the decision anyway. So how's it going to happen? Drag shows have canceled events where kids aren't allowed. Kids aren't allowed. Again, I don't think that I've seen kids at shows where there have been drag queens and LGBTQ culture, and I don't think I think it's a stereotype that they just turn them gay. Top 90 favorite politicians. That'll be for another stream. 18 plus aren't kids. Hank, do you want the stats of post-surgery suicide? Actually, I wouldn't. It sounds terrible. I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. It's very bad. That simply isn't an argument, man, and you know it. Okay. Well, again, I'm not as educated on the topic, so I mean, you could go ahead with yours, and that's fine because it's obvious that you've looked more into it. I've heard it passed around, so I don't really have a horse in that race. Thanks for the stream, mate. It's been nice. Thank you very much, Musical. Yeah, I'm gonna head out, guys. I'm getting a little tired, but let me get to a good spot. Okay. All right. I think I'm ready to go. Thank you guys for attending. It's been real. The real ones for hanging out with me this long. I'm glad that you at least find me entertaining. That's cool. But till we meet again, troopers and grinders, you have escaped the war zone for now. Tell me you fucking love me, or I'm gonna fly out to wherever the fuck you is right now, T-City, and I'm gonna diddle your little ass, boy. You ain't never been in the cage with a boop like me before. I'ma pull down those briefs and